Welcome to some real news, guys. The following is an amalgamation or a bunch of um, news things on the YouTube that are the best forms of news. Hello, welcome to my channel. I hope you guys are here. Um, Facebook or YouTube or whatever this is takes a really long time to upload. So I'll be in the comments as what the wild things do. Okay. So we're gonna watch basically what's going on here is history. Alright. So I've been saving clips of the news, right? And we're gonna remember what the hell happened in 2025 in part by my channel, okay? Thanks for being here. I know nowadays everybody's time is short. They have short attention spans. This is 2025. Do you guys remember 2024? No, you don't. There was this big ass balloon flown over the whole country from China. There were so many droids or drones or whatever in the sky that people thought it was a UFO invasion. We had illegal immigrants lighting women on fire and shit. We had Joe Biden being a very bumbling, fumbling idiot. We had the Ukraine and Russia war going insane. You know what I mean? We had it off the chain, right? Back in 2024, everybody was very paranoid of World War III. We had UFOs and shit. The government kept talking about UFOs. We had illegal aliens. The news kept pushing about how illegal aliens are killing people in public, burning women, lighting them on fire. It's always the subways and trains and shit. Now it's 2025. We got fuckers stabbing beautiful little girls, beautiful little young women. I mean, on whatever trains in freaking Charlotte, Carolina. Irina Zatruska. My goodness, is that a beauty? Poor girl's dead because people had to stab her to death and nobody cares. And the freaking mayor of that city tried to pardon the perpetrator of the crime. It's fucking horrendous. Charlie Kirk being assassinated. We have a lot of stuff going on, guys. The Epstein files, they're not relinquished, okay? We're not, Mr. President Trump said stuff about like, oh, the terrorists are gonna pay back all our debt and we're gonna cancel income tax and you're gonna get your Social Security pension at an earlier age, guaranteed. And that didn't happen, and we're still wiping Israel's ass, and we're still giving Zelensky whatever the fuck he wants, okay? So that gives you a taste of where we are at in history. Never mind, like, the conservatives versus the liberals that's been going on for a minute. Never mind that, like, we forgot about how, when George Floyd dies and ICE raids, ICE, illegal immigration, right? When they do their thing, the left, all the people get jiggy with it, and they start rioting, they start fucking stabbing people, they start acting up. But remember, this is old news, but remember how like Kyle Rittenhouse, he killed a chomo, and he almost went to prison for it? Well, the right isn't gonna rise up and riot for him. And Irina Zatruska, she gets stabbed, and the judge pardons it, and you don't see anybody on the right starting to riot, starting to stab people, starting to a bunch of bullshit, man. So where are we at? Jimmy Kimmel got fired, and the liberals are crying about it. And AOC, the fucking chick, she's a politician. She's shitting all over Charlie Kirk and saying that he's a bad dude. So I'm gonna look at your comments, yo. So I need to get my glasses. I have a lot of shit going on tonight. Ram was shot. Garita died. Who? Ram. Piyush, how you doing? Roberto Dacamanos, hi, new to the stream. How you doing, boss? I need to get my glasses, so if I ruin any of you guys' names, uh, whatever. The haters is being vulgar. I'll tell you what this mouth does, Mr. Hater. It beckons your mom and your chick to get with someone with higher testosterone. And so Hiba Vilo said hi, hello. So without further ado, oh, Roberta says he loves the stream. Hey, you're all welcome here. The reason why you guys should like and subscribe, I gotta be a douchebag, is I'm very politically incorrect. I don't care about monetization. I say it the way it is. I'm a fucking admitted warmonger. I don't care. I really don't. And also, if you guys are into like urban exploration, so fall solstice is happening in September 22nd, 2025, before midnight, and I'm planning to go to the abyss. It's my little gimmick. A few times a year, I go hiking somewhere that you're not supposed to be, and if you're ever in the cryptids, the Riverside Bridge monster, okay? There's some kind of fucking other Bigfoot sighting. It's not a Bigfoot. It's like a prehistoric fucking praying mantis or some shit. I have a, whatever, Riverside Bridge monster. 70 years ago, two people that were unrelated to each other in any way, they got attacked inside their vehicles by some kind of fucking dinosaur that's still fucking alive. And if you're into history and crazy shit like that, I somehow get phone service there. I go to the exact spots that happened. That's in Norco, borderline Limonite, California. Ironically, the Wineville murders happened very, very close proximity to where the Riverside Bridge monster was. Probably 50 years or so before that. The Wineville murders in Norco, California, or whatever, it was fucking horrible. It was some shit like people were keeping kids in a fucking chicken coop and torturing them and shit. So, another thing why you should like my channel, I say it like it is, okay? In this country, you're not allowed to be a man. When people are acting up, if someone disrespects your kids or your wife or something, you have to be politically correct, and it's this war of words, and you have to be able to talk people down, and you have to like dress like a piece of shit. You have to dress like, oh, I garner respect for being a fucking douchebag and investing too much in myself like a fucking chick. And you're not allowed to just fucking fuck somebody up. You don't have to be a martial artist. You don't have to be a Marine. You don't have to be any of those things. To be a real man, if you stand on principles of right and you're doing the best you can in life, nature and God start your own good reputation will go before you. I'll give you an example. This is Southern California, unfortunately, and former UFC champion Cain Velasquez, he lives here, and so some fucking chomo was touching his kid, okay, and Cain Velasquez, he went after said chomo with a fucking shotgun, okay, so they tried to give Cain Velasquez like 25 years for public fucking shooting at some fucking creep, and the chomo, he got let out, he got convicted or whatever, but he got let out of prison, got let out of jail. 2 days later, going home with his dad, like an ankle monitor and shit. You're not allowed to be a man. I'm fucking telling you right now, dude. I have so many anecdotal stories. The most repulsive thing to me is women who fuck weak men, dude. Like, I'm not trying to say I'm all Billy Badass. I'm not trying to say I'm all tough. I'm not trying to say there's not people out there that could probably whoop my ass. Not in stand-up, not in kickboxing, and grappling, yeah. But you're not allowed to fucking be a man, dude. I forgot. If you if you stand on right principles and you're being a good man, you're being a good dad, you're working fucking hard, you're being a good son, a good daughter, trying to get good grades, you're cleaning your fucking room, you don't deserve disrespect. And so when you kind of just when you stand on principles and if you don't cuck out and you believe in something in this fucking life passionately, you will find that when you get the fuck up and you stand for what you believe, you will fucking divide and scatter, and people will fucking respect you and they'll back off. And the day you do get killed for what you believe, that's when you go to Valhalla and shit. I'm not trying to be pagan. Fucking, it's been a Christian tradition to die for what the fuck you believe. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. I gotta get some glasses, and I'm gonna come back and read the comments, answer the comments. This is Dr. Grande. Dr. Grande. He's gonna talk about how Jimmy Kimmel got.
Oh, this is Dr. Grande.
Got canceled.
Today I'll analyze the case of Jimmy Kimmel being suspended from his talk show after making comments about the Charlie Kirk assassination. First, I'll look at the background of this case, move to the timeline of the incident, then offer my analysis. James Christian Kimmel was born on November 13, 1967 in Brooklyn, New York. He went by the name Jimmy. When he was 9 years old, his family moved to Las Vegas, Nevada. He graduated from high school and attended college in both Nevada and Arizona. Jimmy developed an interest in becoming a radio personality and was hired at a station in Seattle, Washington in 1989. After working there and for a few other stations, Jimmy was offered a position on television. From 1997 to 2001, he was the host of a game show called Win Ben Stein's Money. In 1999, while still working on that show, he added another show to his resume. Jimmy and a comedian named Adam Carolla co-hosted The Man Show on Comedy Central, which was about two men overcompensating for their insecurities and pretending to understand masculinity. In 2003, Jimmy left the show and started hosting a late-night talk show on ABC called Jimmy Kimmel Live. He was in that position until September 2025, which brings me to the timeline of the incident.
Someday, someone will need the faith we have in you. It starts with your healthcare degree from Mercy College.
Someday
Brings me to the timeline of the incident.
Your ass.
On September 15, 2025, Jimmy Kimmel made a statement during his opening monologue on Jimmy Kimmel Live, which led to a great deal of controversy.
I'm gonna answer some comments here, guys. Robertas says, "Hey, thank you for the comment. I hate parents that kill their own kids. Yes. Please like and sub. Thank you." Mac Nasty asked me if I'm a cop. No, I'm private security. Oh, thank you, Mr. Robertas. You're cool. Dusty Star, 8 Uber Expl. Ha ha ha. You guys are funny, man. Oh, thanks, man. My hat keeps my eyes from fucking. It shields your eyes. But yeah, guys, no, I do private security, and that's that. I got, hey, I gotta say, guys, so a lot of private security are lazy shitbags looking for an easy job. That's not me. It's pretty chill here. I'm blessed by that, but I have to plug security here. We see over and over when these political figures almost get fucking assassinated, or they do get assassinated, the cops keep tackling and arresting the wrong guy. The police oh, there's Trump, he's gonna get shot in the head. Look there's somebody else crawling like demonic Spider-Man, a sniper, he's on the roof, and the cops fucking ignore it, but they're there when you fucking are speeding just a little bit. They're there if you didn't pay your taxes for 2 days. They're there if you're playing your music too loud. So private security who's committed to their job, we should get breaks, okay? Meaning I protect your shit for fucking money, right? And if I have to peel somebody's cap, right? If I have to defend your life or my life, I have to get arrested, even if it was self-defense. I have to hire a fucking lawyer, right? I got to get my car towed, and I'm gonna lose my job from missing so many fucking days. Okay, you're not allowed to be a man. You're not if I'm a burglar and I'm fucking rummaging in your woman's panty drawer, okay? If I'm a burglar, if I'm a trespasser, okay, and you should be allowed to shoot me in the back in the fucking dark because you don't know what the fuck I'm up to. And in California, it's such fucking the mentality of the government here is such a bitch. They're saying like your property is not worth a human life. They're saying that you have a duty to retreat at all times, even if you're in a second-story building. Okay, that shit don't fly, man. If the shoplifting laws in California, like if you steal something and it's not over $900, they can't penalize you. Like, so if I'm in your house and I steal something cheap, but it was something that your grandmother gave you or your dead father or some shit, what the fuck is that, man? So in this world, if someone disrespects your chick, tries to touch your kids, fucking tries to steal your shit, you should have the right to fuck them up or peel back their fucking wig like that, man. And then fucking you could talk about what the fuck later. And it would all work out. It would all work out because if you have one son of a bitch that keeps killing somebody every year, then you know that maybe it's a little nefarious there. You know what I mean? That doesn't happen every day. But let me look at some comments. And then we got to get to these videos, guys, because I've been saving a lot of videos. Heba said hi. Oh, that's old. Copyright blast. Thank you very much, Robertas. The freaking, oh yeah, I do get copyrighted shit. I'm very sure I'm demonetized. I don't care. I really don't care. The incentive about my channel is I got miscellaneous shit, but I don't like being this political. I just feel like that if the good people in society, they're being bitches, because the bad people in society, whenever something fucks up and it's their fault, like a cop sits on somebody's neck and the fucker dies, but he's a raging fucking crackhead lunatic, right? I think that was kind of fucked up, but you get the point. When anything happens to piss off the liberal party, they go to war right away. They start rioting, right? They start breaking shit, right? They start assassinating people, right? But with the right, with right politics, with conservatism, if Kyle Rittenhouse is shooting chomos, and if some January 6th dude with this crazy bullhorn hat goes to prison for supposedly invading the White House, when Irina Zatruska gets stabbed to death on the train and the judge wants to pardon the killer, we conservatives don't get off our holy righteous ass and go do what Thomas Jefferson said, to water the tree of liberty with the blood of patriots and tyrants. And you ask me, but isn't Trump like a good guy? How do we overthrow the government? Well, this is how we could start, okay? The fucking ugly ass mayor who wanted to pardon the killer of Irina Zatruska, right? The people who are desecrating her little monuments and stuff. We go to North Charlotte, Carolina, or whatever the fuck it is. You fucking openly, you invade their fucking government. You hang the judge openly on fucking social media, on TV, hang the fucking judge. And then you get a hold of her killer and you torture him to death live during the Super Bowl, during halftime, Monday Night Football. That's a start. And then I believe in freedom, right? But you could, I believe in like we're not a theocracy. You're allowed to suck or fuck or say whatever the fuck you want, right? As long as you're not trying to do that shit to people who don't, or be that shit around people who don't want to fucking deal with it or see that shit, especially in front of their kids, okay? So like, you could be fucked up. Just don't be doing it around people's kids. They'll be trying to use the same restroom as their little girls and shit, right? You should be able to fucking whoop their ass on general principle. And so, I'm the kind of Christian who believes that we should be reasonable. We're not just going to go hang witches, burn witches, right? But I'm the kind of Christian in that we should cleanse this land, beat the shit out of everything that is ignorant and fucking willfully stupid and fucking trolling and fucking toxic as fuck, right? And then fly the St. Constantine fucking banner next to the American flag. And I guarantee you, God will wake up and we need to reinstitute the Constitution. You guys know since the Patriot Act at 9/11, there's so much conspiracy theories. We know that conspiracy theories, a lot of them have come to pass. There is so much evidence pointing to that the government allowed and exacerbated on purpose the crash, the downfall of the Twin Towers on 9/11 to get us back into that whole Gulf War shit that we were doing in the early 90s. Blood for oil, right? And they made the Patriot Act. It wasn't just to go invade the Middle East again. It was to fuck over our rights. It was to, the whole Patriot Act, the whole point of the Patriot Act is to fuck your Fourth Amendment right. Okay, somebody thought I was a cop, right? I don't really need what's real reasonable suspicion. Like, oh, it smells like rotting meat in your fucking trunk, you know? No, I can just fucking make it up and fuck your Fourth Amendment, dude. And I'll tell you how important the Fourth Amendment is, guys, okay? San Jacinto, California, they had an active shooter in the middle of the street, like roughly in 2023. I was only a block away, man. I usually frequent that donut shop that's right behind that guy, okay? So, I could have circumvented death. But my hands were tied because I'm so afraid of California laws. I'm more afraid of law enforcement than my own life. So when I'm 10/7, when I'm off duty or whatever, in California, you don't have a Second Amendment. When you're out and about, you're vulnerable. Because your gun, when you're off duty, we're supposed to take the clip out, unchamber the round, shove the gun up our ass, take the magazine, blindfold ourselves, and throw it somewhere in the distance. You're supposed to lock up your firearm and separate it from your bullets, right? So I'm not trying to say I'm a hero. I would have loved to have answered that guy's fucking gunshots. I know it'd be scary. I'm not saying I'm all bad at it. I want the fucking clout, dude. It should be because I'm a good Christian and I love my neighbor. I want the fucking clout. Risking your life and fighting in any degree is so much easier than welding, than auto mechanics, than hardcore blue collar work. I'm almost Gen X. I'm unfortunately a millennial. I have some millennial typical fucking gripes, okay? The difference between me and a pizza is a pizza can actually feed a family of 4. Like, I've worked with these hands, dude. I've broke my back. I didn't know shit. I didn't grow up learning how to fucking work on a car. I really appreciate the likes, guys, and the love. I didn't work up doing any of that shit. It's embarrassing. The only thing I knew what to do is fucking martial arts, which is another incentive to subscribe to my channel, dude. I can tell you a lot of shortcuts and getting all tactical and self-defense. And the people who will laugh at me, who think that they're more professional and tactical shit than me and yada yada yada, dude, they're gonna be like, oh, you need to go get a Sig Sauer, blah blah blah, with sights and scopes. No, man, no, you don't need to get that. I'm here to tell you, if you're new to this, you never handled a gun before, you want some home defense, get a Mossberg Maverick 88. It's probably less than half the price of a Glock. It's fuck ton more powerful and about just as reliable. It's just not drop proof. Let me read some comments so that we got to get to these videos. I go off on a lot of tangents, guys. I apologize. Later, Robertas. I really appreciate all your positivity. Man, you have a really good night. So, yeah, guys, I don't even think a lot of people are watching. So, without further ado, let's watch the news. The news is Dr. Grande
talking about the assassination of the conservative political activist Charlie Kirk, which had occurred 5 days earlier on September 10. Charlie was murdered by a sniper while appearing at a scheduled event at Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. The authorities indicated that a man named Tyler Robinson was the assassin. There were different theories about what motivated Tyler. The authorities indicated that he was motivated by left-wing ideology. Tyler's mother said that he had become more pro-gay and trans rights oriented.
That's an ugly son of a bitch, guys. They were even talking about how fucking ugly and useless this fucker is. You guys, this is the face of a person with very low testosterone, okay? I was a very ugly kid, and then I went on to bang hot cougars because I started lifting weights really hard and eating lots of steak. And you could do it too. And my ugly hippopotamus-looking ass could hook up with hot blonde cougars. You could do it too. Start lifting heavy weights and eat fucking steaks. And subscribe and stuff.
In addition, Tyler was living with a transgender lover at the time of the assassination. Jimmy Kimmel knew, or should have known, about Tyler's potential motivation. However, during his monologue, he said, quote, "We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang, desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, and doing everything they can to score political points from it," unquote. It's not clear why Jimmy decided to blatantly lie, but many people believe it was to advance his own political agenda. Jimmy has been criticizing Donald Trump and Republicans for many years. It's a core part of his routine. On the next day, September 16, 2025, the chairman of the FCC, Brendan Carr, commented on the situation while on a conservative podcast. Brendan described Jimmy's behavior as some of the sickest conduct possible and part of a concerted effort to lie to the American people. He continued by saying, quote, "I mean, we can do this the easy way, or these companies can find ways to change conduct, to take action, frankly, on Kimmel, or there's going to be additional work for the FCC ahead," unquote. This made it sound like he was threatening regulatory action against companies like ABC and Disney. Historically, the FCC has not interfered with political commentary. Brendan's implication represented a significant deviation from this tradition. A few hours later, the largest television station owner in the United States, Nexstar Media Group, announced that Jimmy Kimmel Live would be pulled from all its ABC-affiliated stations. The company said, quote, "Mr. Kimmel's comments about the death of Mr. Kirk are offensive and insensitive at a critical time in our national political discourse. We do not believe they reflect the spectrum of opinions, views, or values of the local communities in which we are located," unquote. A few minutes later, ABC announced that Jimmy Kimmel Live would be indefinitely suspended. Closest to the pin for an alt check. Definitely suspended.
Jimmy Kimmel losing his job reminds me of a Bible verse in Psalms chapter 37 in normal Protestant Bibles about how when evil people keep fucking around, they find out and they lose their fucking place, and you'll look for them and they will be lost.
Nationwide. On September 17, 2025, Donald Trump appeared to be joyful about Jimmy's misfortune, posting on Truth Social, quote, "Great news for America. The ratings-challenged Jimmy Kimmel Show is canceled. Congratulations to ABC for finally having the courage to do what had to be done," unquote. Trump also called for the cancellation of two other shows, The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon and The Late Show with Seth Meyers, which are both on NBC. Later, at a news conference, Trump said that Jimmy was fired because he had bad ratings more than anything else. He suggested that Jimmy was not talented. In an interview after this, Trump suggested that networks who criticized him should maybe have their licenses taken away. Apparently, he didn't realize that the FCC regulates TV stations, not networks. Now moving to my analysis. Here are my thoughts on a few areas that stood out to me in this case. Item number 1. There have been a lot of strong responses to the suspension of Jimmy Kimmel. An editorial in the Free Press, which was founded by a former New York Times editor, said, quote, ABC benched late-night host Jimmy Kimmel. That in and of itself is no great loss to comedy, but the circumstances under which he has been suspended should alarm anyone who cares about free speech, unquote. Anna Gomez, a lone Democrat on the 3-person FCC commission, said that the agency did not have the authority, the ability, or the constitutional right to punish Jimmy Kimmel. She stated, quote, we cannot allow an inexcusable act of political...
Well, Dr. Grande, you're awesome. You would agree with me. So it's a private company, okay? Like Facebook, right? Smart cities, look into that, okay? Jay Dyer talks about smart cities. You know what I'm saying in a minute, okay? So you can't, if you're a freedom-loving son of a bitch, you're gonna get kicked off of Facebook left and right and left and right. And if you claim free speech, they'll just go, oh no, it's hate speech. Oh, we're a private organization. We can dictate what goes on in our own thing, right? So what smart cities is, the government wants to eventually put us in a fucking dystopia where you're going to a vending machine trying to get a soda, right? And it goes, I'm sorry, Mr. Clark, you cannot get this soda today because you said something bad on the internet, you know? Fucking stupid.
Violence to be twisted into a justification for government censorship and control, unquote. As far as a defense for what happened to Jimmy Kimmel, some people have noted that a private company suspended him. A private company would possess the right to do that. This point of view appears to ignore the influence exerted by the FCC, namely the threat of taking regulatory action. Item number 2, does the FCC have the authority to sanction ABC, Disney, or other companies holding broadcast licenses? When the FCC grants a license, it is under the condition that the broadcaster
Well, they're trying to pass a law that does make sense, that if you're spreading disinformation, okay, if you're not being open and honest about shit, which could really mislead the masses and catalyze worse, what's that, endemic shit of like civil unrest or something. If you work to exacerbate tensions, then you could be penalized, and they're going to try to call it the Charlie Kirk Act, that if you're fake news and shit, you're going to get fucked up. And that sounds good.
the public interest, convenience, and necessity. That duty is somewhat vague. Under the First Amendment, the FCC cannot require broadcasters to avoid particular viewpoints or content simply because some people find them offensive. Now, in the case of Jimmy Kimmel, he was spreading misinformation. He made a false statement. Does that change anything about what the FCC could or could not do? As far as promoting misinformation, there is no FCC policy against that. The FCC does have rules around defamatory falsehoods, but those generally do not cover political commentary that is opinion, debatable as far as whether it is true or not, or where someone is expressing a viewpoint. Jimmy may have made a false statement, but his speech could still be considered an opinion. Item number 3. Item number 3. What about the art?
Looking at comments, you rock, Robertas. I appreciate everything. Appreciate all your patronage.
Meant that Jimmy was suspended by a private media entity, not by the government. Again, some people argued that what happened here was simply a private company conducting business how they see fit. They were allowed to suspend Jimmy because his ratings were low or for a variety of other reasons. It wasn't exactly financially productive for them, and there was talk about his show coming to an end soon anyway. The FCC did not take regulatory action against Jimmy, so is this really a free speech issue? I think the problem here is that the FCC threatened to take action. Therefore, they exerted pressure on media companies. It appears as though the FCC did interfere with free speech. Item number 4, What do I think happened in this case? This is just a theory, my opinion. Figures aligned with the mainstream media typically promote left-wing values. The research on this topic is pretty clear. It is not a secret in any way. Jimmy Kimmel fell in line with this pattern and frequently criticized conservatives, even though it cost him much of his audience. Donald Trump has been a frequent target of criticism, including from Jimmy. Trump has repeatedly expressed his disapproval about this criticism. The television station owner, Nexstar Media Group, is seeking approval from the Trump administration to acquire another large owner of television stations. This $6.2 billion deal would increase the reach of Nexstar from almost 39% of U.S. households to 80%. Clearly, the company would be very interested in the deal going through. But there is a problem. It can't happen unless the FCC eases government limits on broadcast station owners.
All right, guys, that was Dr. Grande on Jimmy Kimmel and shit. Okay, so get your pen, pause it so you can hear what I'm going to say. Okay, so it's Dr. Grande, Grande, left-leaning it's going to be called Left-Leaning Host Suspended After False Claim About Charlie Kirk Killing Jimmy Kimmel Analysis. We got to move on because there's a lot of videos, guys. So bear with me, please. And we're going to move on to my next news things. Okay, so thank you for your patronage. Why doesn't it let me go to my other channel, you little shitbags? Give me a second, guys. Sorry about this. I can't edit my shit. I can't do it. I'm such a boomer at whatever, so. Okay, this one was really good. Andrew Tate makes Pierce Morgan look like a bitch. So, and thanks for being here, guys. You're basically
women are permanent prey every single time they leave the house.
You're basically watching history, guys. This is going to be a recap of the major things that went down in 2025.
Because of all of these liberal women are permanent prey every single time they leave the house. Because of all of these liberal, femme-minded,
and why do you think?
Girl-fueled,
Okay.
girl boss.
And why do you think? And what? Okay. And why do you think? And Andrew Tate, why do you think it is that people think you're a misogynist?
Nobody thinks that.
A couple of nights ago, I interviewed Andrew Tate in what may have been our most explosive interview yet. Just a few minutes after I left the Uncensored studio, news broke that Charlie Kirk had been shot and, as we now know, assassinated. We're going to bring you the Andrew Tate interview, unedited and uncensored. But first, Andrew Tate returns to give his reaction to his horrific story. Andrew Tate.
For being a liberal, we thank you liberals out there that actually show the whole fucking interview like this guy's doing, at least.
Welcome back to Uncensored. This all happened just after we finished our interview 2 days ago. Just first of all, your immediate reaction when you heard what had happened to Charlie Kirk.
I was devastated. I was very, very sad about it because he's one of the good guys and he's one of the people who believed in discourse and he believed in speaking and trying to explain with logic why your worldview is better than the opposing. And if we don't have discourse, then all we have left is violence and war. The point of conversation is to avoid the war. The point of conversation is to be able to sit down and be logical enough to come to a conclusion without the need for violence. And it turns out that that's becoming less and less likely in America today.
I mean, it was, as we get more and more information about the shooter, he's 22 years old. He had bullet casings with "Hey Fascist," "Catch," "O Bella Ciao," which is a reference to an Italian song adopted by the anti-fascist resistance during World War II. And then several sort of slightly ambiguous ones. If you read this, you're gay. LMAO, notices bulges, OWO, what's this? Which is a meme from internet culture associated with the furry craze. When you look at all that in totality, what do you think we're dealing with here in terms of who this person is?
I think America has a lot of problems I think that it's an extremely politically charged environment, perhaps the most politically charged environment on the planet. Politics is all anyone talks about all day, every day. The judicial system is politicized. The educational system is politicized. You couple in with the fact it's the most medicated country in the world. It's very unusual for someone who grew up in Europe to know a large percentage of his fellow students to be on some kind of anti-anxiety medication, some kind of depression medication. These SSRIs remove the humanity from the mind and just wipe their brain. You couple that with a hateful media, which is constantly spitting out hateful rhetoric, and you're going to have a whole bunch of drones walking around without humanity waiting to receive their slave instructions, and they're going to believe that they're doing the right thing by murdering people as opposed to just talking to them. So America's a very, very interesting place with a lot of problems. It's easy to just blame guns. I think that's pretty shallow to do, because you can kill with a car, you can kill with a knife. We need to find out why there's such a spiritual sickness across all of the Western world, especially America.
The governor in Utah.
Hey guys, thanks for hearing my 2 cents on this shit. Okay, like, I'm a fucking asshole, because the reason why I care about this shit so much, it should be for God, it should be for country, it should be for my posterity. I don't have any fucking kids. I want America to fucking see that these fucking proud to be ghetto fabulous urban fucking gangster ignorant fucking contentious pieces of fucking shit, okay, they're an existential threat to your traditional values and the posterity of the country that you bled and your ancestors bled to fucking create the infrastructure, the world wars, okay? And it's uniting all of us who at least have a decent respect for traditional godly Christian values. And when I was growing up, I looked like a motherfucker. I come from extremely liberal piece of shit fucking world, dude. And I was a sexy heavy metal rockero. I had luscious long locks like Fabio. I looked like Tarzan meets Jason Momoa. Fucking, I was a stud, dude. And I got so much fucking libtard pussy. And cops would fuck with me so bad. It was so hard for me to get a job. And conservative people, they didn't like me, okay? I was like, what the fuck, man? I'm just a heavy metal dude. This shit was normal 10, 20 years ago. Now it's like 40, like 10, 20 years ago in the 1980s. And now I'm so happy that society at large and our culture and our domain, guys are starting to see that shaggy, hippie-looking rockers, punk rockers, heavy metal guys, grungy-looking fucks like where I come from, those people might be self-destructive with drugs and alcohol and violent partying, but they're not doing this shit. I will say though, a lot of those fucking Antifa nerds, you guys need to stop wearing heavy metal shit, man. I'll see them dressed like us grungy fuckers used to dress in the 1990s. Cut that shit out, okay? Fucking no. But at large, America seeing that the proud to be ghetto fabulous urban fucking illiterate pieces of fucking dumb shit who don't give a fuck who Thomas Jefferson was. They think George Washington was a racist. They think Orange Man is automatically bad and all white people are fucking evil, okay? Charlie Kirk's death is uniting all us conservatives, and my selfish fucking vendetta is to show this country that fucking back in the early 90s with grungy shitbags like I was or am, we're not the problem. Don't be afraid to sound politically correct. Don't be afraid to be deemed fucking racist. You have a First Amendment fucking right and a duty to stand up for what your ancestors bled for and call shit out the way it fucking is. I don't want to get canceled. I don't want to fucking like incite hate, Okay, that fucking piece of shit, fucking street ape, who stabbed Irina Zakrusta, fucking needs to get tortured to death. Okay, I'm always saying, I say two things. I would love to blurt it out. I am not afraid. I go, hey, white people, okay, you have a First Amendment right. Okay, first, there's a difference between black people and niggers, right? Black people and niggers, right? You have a First Amendment right to say the word fucking niggers, and you have a Second Amendment right to shoot motherfucking niggers, okay? And fucking, hey, like Jesse Lee Peterson, he's some pastor dude. He's very outspoken. He would say the same shit. Except for he probably like a conservative, they're bootlickers. But black folks and cops have something in common, okay? When your own people fuck up, police them, audit them, put them in check, whoop their ass. When the killer, the dude that killed, the fucking piece of shit, fucking evil looking ugly fuck that killed Zarina Jakusta, the Ukrainian girl, when he goes to prison, is his own race gonna fucking take him out? Is his own race gonna pimp him out? Is his own race gonna stab him? Because if you did some shit like that, and especially the California prison system, if you did some shit killing little girls and stuff, fucking, when you go to prison, your own race is gonna fucking, they're gonna make your life a living hell if they can't kill you, and they're gonna kill you or fucking give you to the guerrillas to get raped at fucking smithereens. You look up what's his name? Born to Kill. There was some serial killer that when he went to prison, he got tricked out bad. They had fucking bad. I'm trying to remember the fucking name. Anyways, these demographics, they need to check themselves when their own people fuck up. Okay? Same thing with law enforcement. When your own fucks up, you need to call that shit out, you know? You get the fucking point. But anyways, I hope that made sense. That, hey, guys out there of a lighter shade of skin, okay? Have the balls to call shit out the way it fucking is, dude. Don't be afraid of being labeled a bigot, a racist, a fucking whatever. You have a righteous cause. Fuck them, dude. That you can't reason with them. You can't make peace with demons. They need the ass whooping that their dad never gave them. It's long overdue, so it might be utterly severe. That's the attitude we need to cultivate, and that's why my channel's worth of shit, guys. I will say shit the way it fucking is. I don't care about monetization. If you like this content, I have to ask to be a douche and ask you to subscribe so I can keep going live. Thank you. I think Roberta said, "You're really cool, bro." I don't know if you're still here, but
gave a pretty powerful address today in which he appealed to people to tone down rhetoric, to get off social media actually as much as you can, get back to the real world where 80% of the population exists in America. You're very active on social media. You can be very inflammatory on social media. I mean, some of the tweets you've done since Charlie Kirk's death, the left are evil, murdering scum who kill people or let others kill people. They must be held accountable. They're not the good guys. The compassionate, nice guys want them dead, and they'll do it or encourage us to do it. I get 1,000 death threats a day from these people. We are at war. Civil war was another one. You know, some people will say, all right, Andrew Tate, you are part of the problem. You are yourself spewing pretty toxic stuff out to millions of people, whipping up rather than calming down the problem. What do you say to that?
We hit that first 1 million in sales in our first year of business. It was surreal. Like, this is definitely going to be a thing.
Shut the fuck up.
Hi, I'm Sarah with Gadsden and Culpepper here to show you today our tactical build-a-cap option.
They make good
In this
hats.
genre, we
Rather than calming down
Company, they make good
the
hats,
problem.
guys.
What do you say to that?
Well, if you have a point of view, somebody can be radicalized by it, right? If you have any point of view on the planet, somebody can be radicalized by it. And social media, like all things, is a fantastic tool that can do amazing things. But if it's used the wrong way, it can also do very destructive things. I don't think the answer is to start telling people to not talk. I think the answer is more discussion, more debate. Because if you remove debate, the only answer is violence. So I think that it's also my tweets, which you just highlighted, the fact that I do receive death threats. Somebody did try to kill me only a few weeks ago, and then a friend of mine, a guy who I respected, was blasted, and I had to watch him bleed out. I think it's pretty fair that to say that, of course, my tweets are going to be emotionally charged. We can't get into an area where we say that we can't talk anymore, because that's only going to lead to more violence. We have to be able to speak to each other. And I think that you would agree, perhaps I'm wrong, that it's the left which seem to be the ones who are so obsessed with assassination. It seems to be the left which are more violent, Antifa, and their riots trying to assassinate President Trump. An attempt was made on my life. An attempt was made on Nick Fuentes' life. They just killed Charlie Kirk. For us to sit here and pretend that this violence isn't going one way is disingenuous.
I certainly don't think it only goes one way. I certainly think it can go the way of any extremist, that the far right has its own problem with extremists. There have been lots of left-wing politicians and public figures who've been targeted. So I think it's a problem that goes both ways. But I have said for quite a while that the woke mind virus, as Elon Musk calls it, that ideology is extremely dangerous, because the irony of it is you've got this kid who is, purporting to be anti-fascist, but actually using violence and a gun to silence permanently someone whose views he doesn't agree with. The point being, that is the epitome of fascism.
Well, that's exactly it. So the reason this is so dangerous from the left, and it's not as dangerous from the right, is because the people who are on the right live in a version of objective reality. We live in the real world. These people do not live in the real world. If you're going to believe that a man is a woman, and you're going to believe that we should have no borders for our country and unlimited numbers of people can turn up and just steal from us, if you're going to believe that criminals shouldn't go to jail, you're not a person who's sensible. You now have no parameters from which to operate your logic. So if you're going to live in a complete fantasy land, it becomes a lot easier to justify murdering a political opponent than it does if you operate from a frame of rationality. So for that reason, the left are far more dangerous, because all of their ideas are dangerous, because none of them are true. None of them are real. For the same reason it's dangerous for me to say to you, gravity isn't real, you can jump off a building. If you start believing in things that are completely falsified, completely fantasy, then murder is the end result of all of it. So the left is a serious problem across the world. It's a serious problem across America especially. You add in a spiritual sickness where we have nothing unifying us in the West anymore. We don't share respect for a flag. We don't share respect for the country we're in. We don't share language. We don't share religion. We don't even share economic prosperity anymore. There's literally nothing unifying us. And if you're going to remove the capability to debate and discuss ideas, then you're going to have an absolute civil war. And that's what's so sad, that Charlie Kirk literally was the number one guy trying to speak. He wasn't trying to inflame tensions. He wasn't trying to push violence. He was the guy saying, look, let's talk this through and let me show you why you're wrong. He was the good guy who did the right thing, and he caught a bullet for it. And that is truly devastating.
But when you post civil war, literally one post just said civil war, what do you mean by that? What do you expect?
I mean that civil war is coming if we can't talk to each other.
Well, that's a different sentiment. Had you said that, then fair enough. But just to say civil war is...
Well, did I give a verb?
Well, what you're saying by civil war, you're saying to your followers that you believe there is a state of civil war here. Now, as you know, the Civil War in America was one of the most consequential.
The left is always trying to gaslight the right, trying to make them sound like we're so bloodthirsty.
Periods in its history, and was waged with gun violence.
Well, I can answer that in two ways. Firstly, if conservatives can't give their opinion and they can't talk openly and freely without catching a bullet, then I guess it is a war. But that wasn't what I was inferring. I was inferring that civil war is coming if we can't speak to each other and unify behind an idea, especially the idea of being an American. You've now added a verb saying that I was trying to incite civil war, because very much like all other media figures, it's your primary intention.
I didn't add anything.
It's your primary intention to just spin up negative clips and
I
find things that give you
what do you mean I
views,
added?
and that's exactly what the liberal media has always done. This is why conservatives are under permanent attack.
Hang on.
They're going to now sit here and say I'm a violent person.
No, I
and
didn't
then
say
when someone
that.
else turns up at
Why
my
are you
house
putting
and
words-
kill me like they did 3 weeks ago.
Why are you putting
that
words-
has nothing to do with you, Pierce.
Why are you
the liberal
putting-
media in and of itself
You
is
keep
truly
talking.
disgusting. It's the reason why Charlie Kirk had to eat the
if you let
bullet.
me respond
Because the
to
liberal
you.
media convinced this guy who probably looks like he's on SSRIs to me, that Charlie Kirk was the heart of evil when he truly wasn't. So please do not, in this conversation about fallen comrade, do not do the exact thing the media always do and the exact thing that ended up getting him killed. Do not say I said something I didn't say, and do not give some
Can I get a word in?
inference trying to get a bunch of clicks
Can I say something?
on your channel. You may need money, but I don't.
Ladies, I want you to look at. That's what a liberal man looks like. That's what a conservative man looks like. Gee, I wonder how.
Sir,
Yeah,
so I don't care
let me
about
just
this.
respond.
I'm not. I didn't say let's go to civil war.
If I may
didn't say let's
respond-
start a civil war.
If I may
said
respond,
I
If
said
you keep
civil war
talking,
because
Andrew,
that's where
we
it's
can
gonna
shut
end.
up. I never added any verb. I literally read your post was 2 words.
And neither did I.
Civil war. I never
Neither did
added
I.
a
You
verb.
inferred,
So the whole
sir.
pretext
You
for your
inferred.
whole pretext for your little rant about me is based on a lie, which the viewers will know was a lie because they heard what I said. I never added any words to your post. I read out the words civil war and asked you what you
You
meant
know what
by
the word
it. You
infer
then
means?
clarified it. You then clarified it, and I would say to you in return that if you don't want people to misinterpret your post, then maybe post what you actually mean rather than posting the words civil war, which I think are
posted what I meant.
incendiary.
Thank you very much. It's clear that conservatives are under attack by a rabid left-wing sect of the population, which is being radicalized by media figures, very much like yourself. That is clear. We just saw a man bleed to death in front of his wife and children, purely because the media convinces everybody at home that he is evil somehow for having an opinion.
There is an irony. There is an irony. Okay.
And MSNBC and all of these people who do this, even after his death, were constantly trying to make excuses for the shooter. It is disgusting.
Okay.
The lie, and I know you don't care, Pierce, but a man tried to come into my house and stab me 3 weeks ago. So for you to infer I'm saying that we need to have a civil war is actually quite heinous. So please be careful, sir.
I'm not the one who said civil war. You are.
I said civil war, and then you tried to infer, you tried to sit and ask and infer that I'm trying to promote violence.
I asked you what
First
you meant
talk
by
about
it.
how my tweets are inflammatory, and you're trying to say that I promote violence.
So, the reason why you should subscribe to my channel is I have the balls to fucking incite violence. I am not fucking even half white, guys. I don't want to relay what the fuck my dumbass race is. I'm more proud of what the fuck my mom is. My mom's side has Italian, Irish, and Cherokee Indian. My dad's side sucks, and fucking, I'm here to tell, I'm not even fucking 50% Caucasian, and I'm sick and tired of the people who helped build this country and shit being cucked and fucking shoved around, and then they're the bad guy. I'm really sick of it. I see that kind of mentality where I'm at in the fucking ghetto. How hoodlums try to gaslight or turn the tables on your shit. And honestly, good people are too busy learning how to fucking argue. They're busy holding down a job and reading the Bible and taking their kids to church and stuff. Just fuck them up, guys. I don't give a fuck anymore, man. Consecrate the land. Fucking A.
Then you read those tweets out because you're inferring I'm a violent person, so that some idiot at home is going to watch this and believe that I...
Hey guys, disclaimer. It's gonna run into commercials. I gotta go do my rounds. And so I'm gonna let it play. And when it hits a commercial, just come back, please. And then when it uploads, just fast forward it.
Or to die. And I'm telling you that I'm here. I understand you need views. I understand you need clicks. I understand you're poor. I'm not. I'm here. I don't give a shit about the views. Do not infer I said something I did not say. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I didn't, as everybody who watches this knows, so you just lied. Andrew Tate, thank you very much. Well, now, here is that extraordinary interview from earlier this week, as it was recorded in real time.
Starts in the dark, just like always. You show up, ready for anything, and stay when things get brutal. We build gear for mornings like this, because the conditions don't care. That's why we built the Forge Waders. These aren't for fair weather hunters. We built it for form, we built it to last.
Yellow Gate.
No shortcuts. Forged to endure.
How do we pay for all this?
It's an Aldi thing.
Oh, yeah.
Recorded in real time. Today's show is brought to you by Oxford Natural, makers of the Optimum Day and Optimum Night all-natural supplements. Thousands of Brits and Americans are already taking them with incredible results. Optimum Day is designed to boost your energy and support weight loss throughout the day. Optimum Night helps you relax and get deep, refreshing sleep. And don't just take their word for it. Here are just a few of their success stories. England football legend Michael Owen lost 40 pounds. Robbie, the face of AFTV, dropped over 100 pounds. Linda, a top law firm executive, lost 50 pounds. And Anita, an immigration lawyer, shed 60 pounds. To watch their full stories and find out more, scan the QR code on your screen or visit oxfordnatural.com/peers. And here's the best part. Use the code PEERS, P-I-E-R-S, and get 70% off your first order. Get 70% off with the promo code PEERS. The line between social media scandals and real-world anger is increasingly non-existent. Instead, they're codependent. A small movement can rapidly become a nationwide phenomenon. A shocking but local incident can trigger global indignation. But the root cause of it all and the motives behind it can both get lost in the noise. This summer's Raise the Colours campaign is a case in point of being pushed to hoist the English flag across the country as entangled fair-minded protest and patriotism with propaganda and prejudice. People are angry, but not everything they're angry about is true. The same can be said about the brutal murder of Ukrainian refugee Irina Zarutska on a train in North Carolina. Justified online fury over the appalling footage has sparked a massive furore, prompting even the US president to intervene. But some people believe it's only become a racial scandal because of bad faith actors on social media. Andrew Tate understands these issues well, and he joins me now. Andrew Tate, welcome back to Uncensored.
Cheers.
I've not spoken to you since, obviously, a massive development in your life. I need to talk about the elephant in the room off the top. You're facing 10 charges, including rape, actual bodily harm, human trafficking, and controlling prostitution for gain, relating to 3 women in the UK. And your brother Tristan faces 11 charges, including rape, actual bodily harm, and human trafficking. What is your response to that development in your life?
My response is very simple, Piers. It was the UK Foreign Office that wrote to the Romanians in 2023 and said I was a national security threat because I had too much influence over the young men of the country. They told the Romanians to get me off the internet. The Romanians arrested me and, as you know, spent 3 years accusing me of things that were not true. The Romanians threw the entire case out because it's garbage and there never was a case. Once the Romanians throw their case out, then the British state brings up some garbage. I'm considered a national security threat to the Matrix and all they do is lie. You've seen, and we have spoken multiple times throughout this fiasco of what's happened to me in Romania, and I've yet to have a court case or ever be convicted of anything ever. This is a deep state operation by the UK Foreign Office trying to stop me from doing the one thing I'm intent on doing, which is saving the British state from themselves.
Will you come back to the United Kingdom to stand trial?
Absolutely. I'm not scared of these people. They're lying and they know they're lying. I beat the Romanian system, sir. You do understand this is the most corrupt country in Europe. You do understand that if there was even 1% truth to any of their accusations, I'd be under the jail. I'm sure you know that very well. They couldn't even find a victim. It is all invented. The UK Foreign Office specifically wrote to the Romanians and said, get him off the internet. I have the paperwork. The second I'm there in the UK, I'll be sitting with you, unless I'm remanded, with that piece of paper, showing you this is a setup from an intelligence agency because I'm considered a national security threat because young men listen to me instead of their propaganda. It is a lie. And anybody, after Lucy Connolly, and everything else they've done to everybody after the Southport attacks, if anybody has any faith left in the British justice system, they need their head checked. All of it's a lie. All of the accusations a lie. All of the media is a lie. It's a scam. And Piers, you know it is. You know I've done nothing wrong.
I don't know that.
Yes, of course you do. Even you.
I don't know.
Even
I don't
you.
know. I don't know.
Even you.
I don't
with
know.
your-
Just to be
with
clear.
your limited faculty,
Listen, Andrew.
understand very well that I am
Andrew.
clearly the target of the system.
Andrew, I know what you say about this. I also believe that everyone's entitled to a fair trial. I believe everyone's innocent till proven guilty. And I believe in the British justice system. If you say you're going to come back and face trial, that seems to me to be the best way for the evidence to be properly examined in a British court of law, and your fate will be determined in that way, as it is for many other people. I don't know.
Believe in
I've
the
not
British
been
justice
around
system.
you
There's
in
something wrong with
your
you.
environment. I don't know. I don't know whether you're innocent or guilty. How would I know?
Well, you do know I'm innocent. I can see it all over your face, Pierce.
No, you can't.
Of course I can.
I don't know what you're guilty of or innocent of.
Well, you sat there and told me that Israel wasn't committing a genocide and you were wrong. And you told me that the vaccine was important and you were wrong. And you told me that I was going to go to jail in Romania and you were wrong. So your whole life you've been wrong.
I didn't.
So
I did well. Okay, just to be clear.
That's a setup and a scam.
Just to be clear.
I'm innocent completely.
Just to be clear, I did not. Just to be clear.
Educated, and I am telling you
all right,
that I'm
you keep
innocent.
shouting.
So you should listen to me.
Okay, just to be clear, I never told you anything about what would happen in the Romanian system, other than I would await the justice system to play out there. On genocide with Israel, I still don't think it is at the bar of genocide, because no other official body has said that it is genocide yet. I will wait and see how that plays out. So you make a lot of claims about what I've said, but none of it bears relation to reality. You said about vaccines. What did you say about vaccines?
Coming soon, a brand new Planet Fitness is opening near you. Join today and save $5 a month on our most popular membership, the PF Black Card, just $19.99 a month, and get all the perks. Join today for $1 down at the new Planet Fitness, coming soon to Hammett. Offer ends September 30th.
Firstly, I think we should actually, I'm going to do you a favor here, sir. I think we should move on. Because for me to destroy you over vaccines in Israel again, I mean, this will be the fourth iteration of these conversations. If you're waiting for the official body of Israel to admit they're doing a genocide, we're going to be waiting for a long time. And if you believe in the British justice system after everything they've just done and the bullshit they've locked people up for, you're an idiot. So let's just move on from this into something that's actually interesting to discuss, because everybody at home knows you're wrong.
Okay, that's actually demonstrably not true, but I'm happy to move on. And for what it's worth, as I think I said to you last time, I believe the COVID vaccines saved a lot of lives. They weren't perfect. Like all vaccines, there were problems associated with it, but I believe they saved a lot of lives. You don't agree? I believe that. So we can, I hope, respect each other's opinions. But let's go on to why I think you wanted to come on Uncensored today. Well, why don't you tell me why you wanted to come on today?
Because what happened to that poor Ukrainian girl on the bus is absolutely disgusting. And I'm here because I think it ties into the Raise the Colors campaign. And I'll be actually perfectly honest with you. The reason I am here is to hopefully, as a half-black, half-white man, inspire white people to once again defend themselves and defend their nations, because they are clearly being genocided. They're the most subjugated, the most prejudiced, the number one race which has to suffer from the most prejudice on the planet in the world today. And I'm waiting for them to stand up for themselves and stick up for themselves. And I'll tell you why. I have children from multiple women, and I am racially ambiguous in many ways. When I go to Egypt, people talk to me in Egyptian. And some people say I look white, some people say I look mixed race. I get called all of these things. But when I have children with a black lady, the children are black, and I have Chinese children, and I have Turkish children, and I have many white children. And I know that my Turkish children have a place they can go where they will not be subject to violence because of their skin color. As the same with my Chinese and black children. There's many places on the earth they're going to be free to grow up when I'm gone. I'm very worried for my white daughters, because I don't think they're going to have a country anywhere left on this planet in less than a decade where they're not going to be a victim or a target for potential rape or violent crime purely because of the color of their skin. And it is down to white people to finally grow a backbone and stick up for yourselves, because you're being genocided. This is from a mixed race man. You are being genocided, and you know you are. That's why I'm here.
So you don't think that black people suffer from similar crime? There's nothing more important than good sleep, and it's probably time you upgraded yours, as I have, with our sponsor, Brooklyn Bedding. Brooklyn Mattresses deliver top-tier quality, honest pricing, and true American craftsmanship. They've won awards, and they are one of the very few brands to be endorsed by the American Chiropractic Association. My Aurora Lux mattress was handcrafted in their Arizona factory and delivered directly to my door. You can start with their sleep quiz to find your perfect match in just minutes, and they offer a 120-night comfort trial. If you don't love it, they'll help you to return it or swap it hassle-free. Go to brooklynbedding.com and use my promo code PEERS, that's P-I-E-R-S, for up to 30% off site-wide. This offer is not available anywhere else. Go to brooklynbedding.com and use promo code PEERS for 30% off. And make sure you mention Piers Morgan Uncensored at brooklynbedding.com, promo code PEERS.
In what way? Do I think black people kill black people?
Oh, do you think black people suffer from crime? Do you think they are
everybody
also?
suffers from crime, absolutely. But I would argue, and perhaps I'm wrong, but that's never happened before, that a black person isn't killed because of the color of their skin. They're going to be killed because there's some other drug dealing debt for them to deal with in inner city Chicago. That young girl was killed because she was white. It was a hate crime, and she was targeted.
We don't actually know that.
Of course we know that.
No.
I'll show you how we know that.
No. I know what you're going to say because I've already debated it. The reality of the situation, you had a severely mentally ill, probably schizophrenic.
I don't give.
I'm about to tell you.
People are mentally ill.
Let's deal with some facts. Let's deal with some facts. Then you can give me your opinion. That's how this works, right? He is heard on tape saying, "I got the white girl." Okay, that suggests a potential racial motivation.
Potentially.
Yeah, okay, but we don't actually know. And I do think, as I've said publicly, I do think mainstream media has behaved in a very hypocritical manner if that had been the other way round and you'd had a white man killing a beautiful young black girl and saying, "I got the black girl," it would have instantly been a huge story covered by mainstream media in a very aggressive manner. The fact that this was ignored for several days was an indication to me that there was a decision taken. Yeah, so I think there was a clear bias exposed in the way it was ignored. So I would agree with you about that. But I do think it's important to point out this guy had been in and out of prison 14 times, should never have been let out, but is clearly mentally ill, probably schizophrenic. We don't actually know what motivated him to kill this poor Ukrainian woman. And the reason it's important is that once we do establish more information and more facts, we can make a more considered opinion. One of the issues I have with you, Andrew, and a lot of other people, is that there's always a rush to judgment. And the problem with rushes to judgment is later information may contradict what you're feeling in the moment. I remember in the riots that erupted after we had a young black boy killing those poor white girls, right? There was a rush to judgment that he'd come in illegally on a boat on the south coast of the UK. It turned out that wasn't the case. So I believe in waiting for facts and information and then casting a judgment. And I think my criticism of you in these situations is you have immediately decided that was the motivation, therefore it's a racist hate crime, and that's it. And I would argue to you, why don't you give it a bit of time? Why don't you wait for more information and make a more considered opinion?
Okay, first things first, if we're going to talk about waiting for information, you shouldn't have told me that Israel was not committing a genocide on October 8th. You've been proven wrong. That's the first thing. The second thing, he said, "I got that white girl." You're going to pretend that doesn't matter as if it's not proven.
I didn't say it didn't matter.
Third thing,
I said it suggests a racial motivation.
Everybody who stabs somebody is mentally ill. This mentally ill bullshit, I don't know where this has come from, where someone's a criminal, but they're mentally ill. Every single person who commits murder is mentally ill. Every single person who commits necrophilia is mentally ill. Every single person who believes they can get in and out of a bank with money without getting caught has some kind of mental disorder. They're all mentally ill. I don't care about mentally ill. And here's the final nail in the coffin to your asinine argument, sir. Why? did he not stab anyone else on the bus? Because he was already on a bus with 4 people and he didn't touch them. If he's so mental, if he can't control his mind, why did he stab any of those? Is it because everyone else on the bus was black? The first white person he sees, he kills and says, I got that white girl. And you don't believe that's enough proof for a court of law to determine that was a racially motivated attack?
It wouldn't be enough proof at the moment for a court of law, no. Absolutely, I believe that. But that's because I've covered many court cases and you haven't. No, as a journalist, I just prefer in waiting for more information.
People on the bus, this person, who I will agree was probably deranged, although I give no merit to that, although it does not garner any sympathy from me, he clearly had something wrong with him. This person was radicalized by a leftist media machine, which blames every single thing on white people, which says that white people are the devils, that everything white people have done is wrong, that their entire history is wrong, and that they deserve the bad things that happen to them.
You have no idea. You have no idea that
he an entire race endlessly. We're going to end up having a few idiots who act on that.
But
and that's what this man did. But because of the media, the leftist media are complicit in what happened to this poor young girl.
Actually, you have absolutely no idea if anything you just said is remotely true.
I have absolute certainty that it is a fact.
None of it. It's not a fact. If it was a fact, we'd all be...
It is a fact.
No, it's not a fact yet. That's the point. This is my point. Again, off you go, making a series of assumptions.
For as long... Okay, all right, if you want to be smart, let me prove you wrong.
I'm not being smart. I'm just saying it's not a fact.
Once again, this is... Piers, I'm well-versed in you by now. This is easy. Let me ask you a question. If there's an Islamic terror attack, like the London bombings, and then Abu Hamza, Mr. Hook, Captain Hook, he ends up going to jail for a very long time. He didn't blow anything up, but no, he was talking about how Islamic terror attacks should happen because he believes that people deserve them because of his personal worldview. He was instigating so that some idiot would listen to him with less brains than him and then go and murder. What is the difference between that and what the leftist mainstream media is doing by constantly demonizing white people constantly and endlessly? There's always going to be who's mentally impaired.
Allow me to respond.
Who's going to act upon
Allow me to respond.
We're locking up Islamic extremists for discussing violence against
Allow me to respond.
We should also be locking up anybody who is demonizing an entire race, demonizing all of their history, and demonizing them to the point where they cannot get on a bus. They can't get on public transport without worrying about being murdered. And I have a future on this planet where I'm not here. There's a future on this planet where my white daughters exist and I am gone. And they will be victims and targets unless white people start standing up for themselves, standing up for their beliefs, and standing up for their nations. Because you're the only race which is being erased. You're the only one. Nobody is invading and erasing any other race. Only you white people. And you seem to sit there and wonder, oh, maybe it's not too bad. Maybe it's because of this. Maybe it's because of that. It doesn't matter. The world is tribal. You're not going to exist much longer if you don't stick up for yourselves. And you are clearly targets of an orchestrated campaign. There is a campaign which is designed to demoralize and eradicate you. And there are a few idiots who listen to this campaign and act on it savagely in real time on your public transport systems that you pay for with your taxes.
When you stop shouting.
Let me ask you a question, Pierce.
Well, why don't you just stop shouting for a moment and let me respond?
Majority of taxes to import white people who don't work to replace them? No other race on the planet would commit suicide to this level besides the white man. And I'm here to encourage the white man to stand up for him.
Since you mentioned taxes, you could explain why the police had to seize more than £2 million from your brother for failing to pay tax on revenue from your online businesses.
Great way to change subject. Why did the British state try and steal my money? Well, considering the British state, the Foreign Office meddled in a foreign country's prosecution service and wrote them a letter and asked the intelligence services of Romania to get me off the internet. I guess, since I'm a national security threat, all bets are off. Of course they stole my money. Of course they do. They do anything they can to me because they consider me the enemy.
But you avoided paying tax, so you raised the issue of being a taxpayer.
They do.
Well, you raised the issue of being a taxpayer.
They want to get rid of the man who talks about the problem.
All right,
and then the UK doesn't have enough issues.
At some point, you need to stop
talking. Let me ask
talking.
you a question, sir. All of the knife crime that's happening in London, all of the blood that's running on the streets, considering you can't even wear a nice watch in that city anymore, is it white people or black people who are doing the stabbing? I'm half white, half black. You can't offend me. Just tell me the truth.
And who are most of the victims?
Who's doing all the killing?
And who are most of the victims?
Well, some of them are black. Some of them are white. It doesn't matter.
Actually, the vast majority are black. So
I
your
don't
whole
care if
argument,
blacks kill
the whole
only
argument
blacks.
you've been
Blacks
shouting
shouldn't
about,
be killing people.
the whole argument you've been shouting about the last 10 minutes, you've just exposed yourself as being a misleading argument.
Absolutely not. I don't care if black people kill only blacks. I don't care if black people only kill Chinese. Black people shouldn't be killing. There is an issue within the black community which is leading them towards violence. We can discuss whether it's genetic. We can discuss whether it's cultural. We can discuss whether it's systemic. We can discuss that. But it is asinine and ignorant to pretend that there is not a culture within the black community which is leading to violence. There clearly is. There clearly is. And that needs to be addressed. I say this as a half black man myself. My father was black. Half of my family is black. But I'm not blind.
My name is Zubi.
Vivek Ramaswamy.
Jonathan Isaac.
Michelle Tafoya.
My name is John Rich, and this is my story.
I think viewers are sick of rehearsed sound bites from celebrities, from PR firms, from politicians. They want to relate to real hearts and minds.
You didn't find God. He wasn't lost. You were, and he found you.
From that moment on, it became not just a passion, but an obsession.
Just get me in the door. I was hungry for it. And I wanted to make sure I kept working.
And so with Stories of Us, I think we're really tapped into something completely new in the world of media, and that is authenticity.
This is the story of the Lifeline program. It all started in 1985.
Lifeline made sure low-income families could afford to stay connected to the world.
Then came the 2000s, and the smartphone era was about to begin. By 2016, Lifeline expanded to the internet era. Today, Lifeline keeps millions connected for work, school,
even for memes.
This is more than a program. It's the story of how America stayed connected. Unity Wireless, free phone service, real connection.
Blind.
You've all heard me talking about Jacked Up Fitness and their incredible all-in-one home gym. It's a perfect solution for people who are short on time and money but still want to get fit. And wherever you work out, you should take a look at the all-new Shake Weight. 15 years ago, the original Shake Weight shook the world. Now the legend returns, bigger and better. Science has now caught up with the vital importance of explosive power and fast-twitch muscle training, which Shake Weight delivers for beginners, heavy lifters, and serious athletes alike. It works by using spring-loaded weights to send shockwaves of energy through your whole upper body, forcing muscle to contract up to 240 times a minute. Beginners can tone their arms, shoulders, and chest. Big lifters can prime their upper bodies between sets. All of this in less than 6 minutes for under $60. Get the all-new Shake Weight by Jacked Up Fitness at jackedupshakeweight.com. That's jackedupshakeweight.com. I've just said to you that I know that there is a big problem with young black men in London committing knife crime, and the vast majority of the victims of that knife crime are also black. That is just a statistical fact, right? So it just flies slightly in the face of your white genocide nonsense, which I call nonsense because there is no evidence of a white genocide.
Of course there is.
No, there isn't.
Of course there is.
No,
White people are losing their countries in real time. White people are less percentage of the population of Earth than they've ever been.
Do you even know what genocide means?
Do you know what genocide means? They're literally disappearing.
You guys, can I please comment on this white genocide thing, okay? Growing up in Southern California as almost a Generation X age person, being like white was a pejorative, like not speaking in that ghetto fabulous, proud to be urban. I listen to a lot of fucking rap music, ebonics, twang, right? Like I would be frequently told, "Oh, that's like the whitest thing I've ever heard," like or something like that. Or when they heard the accent of my grandparents, like my friend laughed, like. I don't understand why, like, is a catch-22. I know some chick, and she's all libtard as fuck, right? Like, orange man bad, white people bad. But she has, like, a hunky-looking fucking little clown who's, like, whiter than sour cream. And the dude, like, if she gets disrespected, he won't, like, stand up for her. he listens to Jungle Bunny music, but he looks like a corny piece of shit. It's fucking ridiculous. That was a tangent, but growing up, there was this tension. I remember being in the stupid ass public school, and one of the white teachers, he goes, if you are a white male, you're automatically gonna make more money than anybody else. He said that in the fucking class, dude. I don't know what the fuck he's saying, guys. You know why? I don't know why he's saying, okay? Because, okay, on the way to work every day, there's this big ass soccer park, right? And you'll see a bunch of, brown people, and they're doing great in life. They have beautiful ass wives, dude. They're driving big trucks. They have a happy, functional family system. Do you know what a lot of white people have? Well, if your like dad doesn't own a business, if you're basically like trailer park fucking kind of people, dude. You're scruffy, you're roughneck, you're kind of a Levi's jeans and fucking always having dirty hair, a blue collar hero. And those kind of people are like, hey, I forgot where the fuck my white privilege is. You know what I mean? They say shit like that. There's not very many of them left, guys. You know, on our way to school, my friend, his name was Steve. He looked like Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker. He was Mexican as fuck, right? So like, we go to school and there was this bar we passed, and there was this truck with 2 bumper stickers, and one said, "Don't mess with Texas," and the other bumper sticker said, "The only thing I like colored is my TV," right? I grow up to kind of realize, like, I don't want to talk about what the fuck my race is. My father tried. He was in an army from a different country that helped the USA. But he comes to this country, he's fucking barely literate. He invited like half of the fucking people of his whole country here that just take up space. They're never gonna care who Ben Franklin was. They don't give a fuck about the Declaration of Independence. They just kind of use this country as a parasitical system so they can have a better life than what their other country was. And that's not a problem if you have something to offer this country. But what my dad's family had to offer this fucking country to come here to start a life was smut peddling. It's just, yeah. Honestly, this open borders idea, it's a bad idea, okay? What the fuck else is going with this shit? But growing up in the hood, I don't get the street cred for fucking saying or being from the hood because I try to talk half literate and shit, right? But like, motherfuckers from the hood, dude, like, they're gonna believe whatever liberal TV, everything they say is referenced from liberal ass TV. Like, a normal person could quote metaphors or poetry or philosophy from Greco-Roman times, right? No, man, they're gonna recite what they saw on whatever damn sports show or whatever sitcom or whatever, like, and they don't give a fuck. Again, like I said, man, they don't give a fuck who Paul Revere is. They don't give a fuck who Daniel Boone is. They don't give a fuck who Jim Bowie was. They don't give a fuck about the Alamo. They don't give a fuck about World War II. They don't give a fuck about oh man, if you ask them how old this country is, they wouldn't really be able to tell you. 1,000 years? It's horrific. So this whole, like, there being a white genocide, I have to break it to you guys. There really is. Being as old as I am, I remember when TV, things were like rock and roll, and back in the 80s, everything was the ethos of get up and go get it, man. The world's a big place. USA, yeah, we can do it, man. And everybody, no matter what shade of color you was, you liked the American flag. That was us, we beat Hitler, The older I get, everything's like you see like fucking the white kids cucking out their own race. Like, ball to the ball, the bang, diggy, diggy. Like, dude, cut that shit out, man. Like, quit trying to be Vanilla Ice, Fred Durst, Marky Mark, John Cena. You look fucking stupid. All you fucking want to be Eminem, Slim Shady motherfuckers trying to like cook out to the black people, acting like you're fucking gangster and shit. You look fucking stupid, dude. You look fucking, it looks fucking pathetic, man. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's a culture war. Oh, the Crusades were bad. Oh, the Inquisition was bad. All white people did was kill Indians, Native Americans. Hey guys, let me tell you that if you're white, please tell your neighbors or anybody this shit, okay? If Anglo-Saxon Protestants and Spanish Catholics, or whatever the fuck French people are, if they didn't find the Americas, North and South America, you guys hear that noise? Then eventually, Hirohito from Imperial Japan, or Joseph Stalin from Soviet Russia, eventually they would have found the Americas. And when they exploit this land for its resources, there's going to be no peaceful protest. There's going to be no million-man march. There's not going to be no peaceful negotiations to have stopped them from running over everybody's ass in the face of the earth. Yes, Andrew Tate is right. There is a white genocide, guys. I'm just trying to let you know. Because I miss when white people ruled the world. Because we had rock and roll on MTV, and TV was playing music, right? Nobody was trying to be ignorant as fuck. There was like a history channel, right? Like fucking the movies and the shows they're more wholesome. Now it's like white chicks are twerking on Tyrone's lap, you know? Like, oh man, look at that big white booty. Like our culture got ignorant. It's a culture war. I've been dying for fucking like rap music and shit to fucking die and fade out. Like country music will never die and fade out. That's cool. Johnny Cash is cool. Rock and roll is dead. A lot of shit is fucking dead. But we're still left over with this stupid, proud to be urban fucking ignorant shit. Now look, disclaimer. If I was a darker shade of what the fuck, right? That like, yeah, man, I'm not saying like your culture's bad. I'm saying like you're letting it become rotten, right? Because like I'll give you an example. If I was a black dude in the 90s, I would have totally been down with like, come along and ride a phantom. Right. Dude, you ever seen the Wayans Brothers? The Wayans Brothers. There's a show called the Wayans Brothers, right? And the two black dudes are brothers, and the show starts out like, we're the Wayans Brothers. We're happy and we're singing and we're colored. Give me a high five. And they were making fun of. I had a friend named Rick. He was black, and he would bully other black people who weren't black enough for his taste. That shit's fucking funny. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and shit like that. Fucking. You ever seen the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air making fun of Carlton Banks dancing to Tom Jones? It's not unusual to be loved by any. That's fucking hilarious, dude. I'm not saying like just because you're born a darker shade of what the fuck, you're automatically a piece of shit. I'm just saying that it's like gotten out of hand, and fucking no one's like it's metastasizing. It's taking over this culture. It's turning people plumb fucking ignorant, man. Really, like I was at the shooting range the other day. It's an outdoor shooting range, and you could just chill there, ride ATVs or whatever. And so I couldn't tell if they're Hispanic or white, but some mom and her two fucking bitch ass kids, like her son, maybe like 16 years old. He's like, I'm a criminal. I'm a criminal. That's the fucking what the culture is going to. It's plumb fucking ignorant. It needs to be destroyed. I'm gonna read. Somebody commented, and it's just fucking retarded, and I'm sick of it. You know, it's not about race. It's about nationalism. Whatever fucking color you are, if you're not gonna acclimate and integrate and to the great American ethos, to get the fuck out of here. You're the best. You're the best, Robertas. I can't pronounce your last name, but you rock. I appreciate everything. Without further ado, but anyways, yeah, guys. Can I please keep telling your stories, okay? I was living in San Bernardino. I'm like 9, 10, 11 years old. We live in these shitty ass apartments over here. There's this big dirt field, okay? And then there's these slightly nicer apartments, right? And over here, we were all like baggy clothes. We were all listening to rap music and shit, right? Right over here where I was, we're out baggy fucking clothes, dude, right? It's this big ass like dirt field that's undeveloped, slightly nicer apartments over here, and there would be grungy people, and there are more white people over there, and we would be looking. They're so different, man. Us little kids, and we call them stoners. We go stoners, and they like duck and hide. And the older I got, I started going that way, and kicking it with starting to hang out with people of a lighter shade of color. The violence, like, they were still violent. They'll still whoop your ass, but they're not gonna jump you. They're not gonna just like. They don't use your, like, you know, your garden hose. They don't come to your house during the day and drink out of your garden hose and then throw it on the floor and not turn your water off. They don't do that shit. What else do they don't do? Over where I was at, the ghetto, you could get jumped, stabbed, right? It's like, over here in the ghetto, it's like, if you were literate, if you tried to get good grades, if your parents were still together, well, you're getting your ass kicked because you're a fucking fag. Over here, where the wild things do, where the rockers were, they were wild. They drank recklessly. They drove recklessly. They still fight or bully you. Again, they're not going to jump you. You know, they're not necessarily there to pick your pockets. They're going to, hey, what do you got on my 40, eh? Try like a fucking older, almost adult, trying to pat down a little kid's pocket to see if mommy gave him lunch money so he could go buy a Colt 45 and 2 zigzags. It's a fucking ignorant ass subculture within our culture that's an existential threat. It's a parasite. It's not grateful for the infrastructure that you good old white folks built, and they're acting up, and they never had a dad to whoop their ass, and we're sick of it. And they polluted this culture enough. Okay? Really ugly white girl named Brandy. I guess she supposedly had a nice body, right? She's hanging out. She lives in South Corona. Her mom's not home. And me and my friends go over there, and only one of our friends, we call him White Boy. It's a pejorative. He's the only white one there. He's Justin. We call him White Boy. So it's White Boy, it's Steve, it's Javi, it's all this indigenous, fucks. So we go over to Brandy's house where her mom's not there. And like, we're from the hood, and this is upscale. South Corona's a nice place, right? And Javi fucks the shit out of her on her mom's bed. I don't even want to talk about what age she was, okay? White Boy goes into her room, takes out his dick and pisses all over her room, like on her pictures of her fucking friends at school, her fucking pillows and blankets, right? I raid the fridge. I'm sitting there watching movies, eating a fucking bunch of food. Javi makes Brandy take $200 something out of her mom's account and give it to him. And the white mom, who I assume wasn't married, single mother, right? You know, go bad bitch. You don't need a man, right? She's doing that thing. When she found out what happened, all she did was like, now Javi, you better put that money back. He like already spent like 60% of it and gave it back to her. Yeah, that's the proud to be urban bullshit coming to a neighborhood near you. And the sad thing is, I'm at work. They have audio and shit. The Caucasian, the whiter shit, the Caucasoid prosimians who have the balls to squash this shit like a cigarette, they live like in the country, they live in red states, they live places where shit bags like me and my friends are far the fuck away, you know? But, let's see, I'm trying to see comments. It won't, yeah, you rock, Robertas. I like your profile too, man. You rock, dude. All right, let's see what else Andrew Tate has to say. And I appreciate you guys' patronage.
This may explain why you keep saying genocide about Israel from October the 8th onwards. You said it was a genocide. It may be you don't understand what a genocide actually is.
Of course I do. I very clearly understand what a genocide is.
Well, if you think it's to do with white people in England, you don't understand what genocide is, do you?
That is a genocide. The level of psyop, which has been orchestrated upon the white person to give up all of their love of their history, to believe that all of their ancestors' work doesn't count, to believe that their God-given lands aren't theirs, to believe that they have no right to live in harmony or racial cohesion with anyone around them. The level of psyop that's been inflicted upon the white man is absolutely monumental, perhaps the largest psyop in history. Let me ask you, why did the British Empire give its lands back?
What do you mean?
Well, the British Empire, the British are the largest empire in history. Why did we give Uganda back or the Caribbean? Why did we give it back?
Because we took a lot of that land to start with.
Because we took it. Because it is their land, given to them by God. This was the assumption that the British state came up with. Oh, we can't take someone else's land, it's theirs. It was given to them by God, and they have an ancestral right to that land. So what right does that give the white person to the countries that they settled? What right does that give the white person to England? Because it's his ancestors and his land. He has a God.
If you're so exercised about England, why don't you come and live here? Why don't you come and live here?
And another point I want to drive home, guys, is all the shit bags of proud to be ghetto fabulous dumb shits who fucking exist on in your infrastructure that you built, your ancestors built, who are tearing it down. Okay. They don't educate themselves like this. They don't watch these kind of clips. If they have any kind of news media at all, it's what AOC or Jimmy Kimmel fucking says, or maybe the Young Turks at best. Not even that. They're not even smart to know who the fuck that is. They're gonna spend all their time like they gotta watch like Jersey Shore or so, I don't know, the Kardashians or sports is cool, but you get what I mean. They gotta watch like, big pimpin', G's, spending G's, like all fucking day long, perpetually, feeding their own stupid ass ghetto fabulous pride, and they don't absorb knowledge like this. They're not going to contribute to your country. They're the downfall of it. It's like when Rome started letting in all the barbarians and shit. The barbarians just started shitting all over fucking Rome. It's the same shit.
Well, I intend on being your prime minister soon, Piers.
Well, you're going to find that quite hard if you're living in
I'll
Romania.
be the prime minister of the UK.
I mean, you decided to live in another country. You left the country. You purport to be incredibly concerned about how we spend our taxes, but you yourself didn't pay the taxes that you owed, according to the authorities. That's why they took
according to
2 million. Okay, you deny.
Yes.
You deny. I just assume you.
You see how liberals, they're teachers' pets to the government. They suck off the government. They're bootlickers. They try to get the government to whoop your ass. They try to gaslight you into shooting them back so they can tell the government to take away your guns. Government, pay taxes. You never pay taxes. Fuck tax. We're American and we love our country and we don't want to pay taxes here. The fuck are you talking about, you fucking liberal bitch?
Hey, every wrongdoing you've ever been accused of, and you may well be the victim of the greatest miscarriage of justice ever seen in the history of mankind.
Thank you,
or maybe you're just a bullshitter and you are guilty. I don't know.
If I was guilty, why am I not in jail?
I don't know. We'll see, right? I believe in letting justice do its course, right? But we'll see, right? But on the relation to the...
Was Julian Assange guilty of rape?
Let me just come back to a point.
No, let me ask you, because
let me point out. I'm actually doing the interview. Let me ask you. I want to make a point.
Turns out they just made it up to get rid of the guy because he was a problem for the Matrix.
Let me just. Let's talk about the Matrix in a moment.
Who's his victim?
Okay.
Oh, and she never existed.
Okay.
As soon as he deleted WikiLeaks and agreed to their little plea bargain, she was gone. But it looks like my victims never existed.
I want to make the point to you.
It's a scam, and you should know better by now.
Okay. I want to make the point to you that when you talk about the issue of the Ukrainian woman killed in the train incident in the United States, that actually when you go off in your huge rant,
if that girl defected to Russia instead of USA, she would have still been alive. If Irina Zatruska defected to Russia instead of USA, she would still be alive. Do you guys know why? Because Russian men aren't afraid of fucking nonsense. They're not afraid of fucking knicker nonsense, dude. They have that stupid shit in their culture that's proud to be ghetto, fabulous, urban, fucking dumb shit. They would whoop their ass and the government would have fucking let them. We need to have traditionalism back. My friend from Romania was telling me this. Like, people from other countries with nice cars take Romanian women out, wine and dine them, expecting to get laid. Then all of a sudden, a truck full of their brothers and uncles show up out of nowhere, beat the guy's ass and smash his car, or not just beat his ass, or hey, get the fuck out of here, they punk him and he leaves. Women need to be steered and guided and protected, okay? What we did is that poor Irina chick, right? She got to see what the worst of our country has, this dumb shit that we allowed so much. And as Andrew Tate says, that piece of shit that killed her bragged about it. He's like, I got that white girl. I got that white girl. Dude, again, this is why we start taking our country back. You invade that state. The judge that pardoned the fucking nigger that fucking stabbed that chick, you take that judge and you fucking hang her on live TV, and then you get a hold of that said perpetrating fucking nigger, and you fucking torture his ass on the halftime show on Monday Night Football. And hey, you guys, boy saying every race has its trash. There's a difference between blacks and fucking niggers, right? You have a First Amendment right to say the fucking N-word, and you have a Second Amendment right to shoot the fucking N-word. And if you ever get called out on it, hey, what? Hey, what, cuz? What the fuck you say, cuz? What the fuck you say? Just be like, I have a freedom of expression. Now, if you're gonna attack me, do it to my fucking face, and not when I turn around as if I'm a fucking white girl, you fucking porch monkey, fucking piece of shit. Fuck them all, dude.
That this person was motivated by a left-wing agenda of hating white people.
I'm sorry, but after that fucking porch monkey fucking stabbed that white chick, I'm done. I'm so fucking done, man. Because, dude, I don't know how it is with you guys. But because I talk like I'm fucking white and I have lighter fucking skin, they trip out on me hard, dude. I was at the gym the other day. I'm talking to my Latino homie, and he's as light skinned as me though, and he's like saying fuck those. He's getting down. He's fucking he went to prison. He don't like them. They don't get along, right? Fucking So anyways, there's this black dude who's there, right? He's hearing us both talk, right? But he mad dogs me. You know why he mad dogs me? Because he's banking on the Latino. He's gonna have people to back him up. He's got some tattoos. He's been institutionalized. But I look like tidy whitey. I don't break the law, right? I don't commit assault, right? I'm a square. You know what I mean? I'm a fucking nerd. So he has the balls to fucking mad dog me and not the other fucking guy. I'm sick of it. Like, I'm at the grocery store, one of these fucking mayates. He's looking at me all fucking weird, dude. You know why? Because, like, he's not. He knows that I didn't buy the latest Death Row album. You know, he knows that I don't buy the stupid shit that they're fucking oppressed. How are you fucking oppressed, man? Like you have athletes of the same fucking demographic making a bunch of money. You dictate the culture. You supposedly created rock and roll music. You live in you're out of Zimbabwe. You no longer have to be a Shaka Zulu warrior getting eaten by fucking lions and shitting in the mud. You're in a fucking country where everything's built. You know what I mean? Like, for fuck's sakes, dude. The Jews were slaves to fucking Egypt for 400 years. Now they pretty much rule the world. And you guys can't get fucking over a free boat ride to a way better fucking place. I don't understand. So let me look at some comments. Chow laughs. My country is Lithuania. That's badass, Robertas. R.I.P. Charlie. Exactly. God bless you, Charlie. Trying to do good is always good, Robertas. Lithuania. Oh, man. I briefly had a Lithuanian girlfriend that I missed so bad. She was a good woman, dude. She was, like, really quiet and shit like that, right? I was an idiot. I traded her for her fucking hotter cousin. And her cousin's I'm gonna twerk on Tyrone's lap. I'm a fucking moron. I wasn't a hardcore conservative back then, but that's how you fuck up, guys. That's 101. Fucking proud to be urban trash culture.
Blah, 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 blah. It reminds me of what you did in the UK after that young black boy killed those 3 white girls.
I can be right twice.
Is that you made? But you were wrong there in the assumption.
I wasn't wrong.
You were wrong in the assumptions you made that he was an illegal migrant come over on the small boats.
No,
but you
my
were wrong.
assumption was that he shouldn't be there.
Fine, that's fine. He was born in. He was born in the UK. You might have a view
that you are not native to.
My point is, you rushed to judgment and you were wrong. And you're rushing to judgment with this guy, and I don't know the truth, and nor do you. What I do think is it was a heinous murder.
Hey, he's rushing to judgment when in USA, Toby McGillinuggets and Tyrone the klepto fucking cyclone, they make up only 15% of the population, yet they commit over 51% of all the crime. So he's jumping to assumptions, guys. Fucking liberal logic right there.
Disgusting incident, and that the mainstream media failed the American public in refusing to report it properly. And even now when they're reporting it, they're trying to do it through the prism of right-wing MAGA people trying to turn it into a race row, when in fact the guy is on tape saying, I got the white girl. I want to know more about that.
Hey, so this Chow dude in the comments says I didn't trade the white girl, a hot Lithuanian. Hey, Mr. Chow, do you want to see? You just fucked up the stream, dude. Like, I'll give myself fucking 50 seconds to find pictures of my ugly ass with women that you would never have. Okay, so this was me at 28 years old, looking like a beautiful fucking weirdo. I was liberal as fuck. And let's see, where's one of my hyenas? Oh, okay. I'll admit defeat. I didn't fuck those chicks. Okay, the fat one cock blocked me. Okay, but you wouldn't have fucked them either. Okay, I'm getting warmer. The Italiana right there, I fucked the living shit out of her, dude. She loved me. Here's my ugly ass with a fucking drop dead gorgeous cocaine fucking blonde, cocaine addicted fucking blonde chick. Okay, I could keep going, Mr. Chow. You didn't trade no chicks for yeah, okay. There's my ugly ass with the fucking chick with the fuck out of my league. Woo! That's the chick I traded for the Lithuanian. They're cousins, but she's Lithuanian, and the blonde chick says she's half German and Russian. So I don't know. I don't get it. But this Chow dude is wasting all the time. Now I have to fucking flex. I have to be a douchebag. I could keep going. I can show you a picture where she's all fucked up all over me. I'm like, I fuck the shit out of her. You don't have any. You're a liberal. You don't have any testosterone. Again, guys, all you got to do is lift heavy weights and eat steak. That's a start. That's a start. I've done martial arts, yada, yada, yada. So anyways, let's watch Andrew Tate tell it like it is.
I want to know more about his background and whether he did this for racially motivated reasons. And the tape is certainly a part of that investigation. But I think when you rush to judgment and you have your platform, it's incredibly dangerous.
Hi, I'm Sarah with Gadsden and Culpepper, here to show you today our tactical build-a-cap option. In this genre, we pretty much have...
All right, Mr. Chow, you're right. I could never fuck her. Latinas hate my guts. Gadsden makes some really good fucking hats, guys.
It'd be dangerous, Andrew. I get so many young men in particular, teenage boys, early 20s, who come up and ask me about you and our interviews and what I actually think about you. You know that. You have a big influence and a big reach. But you
talk the largest.
But you go, all right, but they hear you make a big rant about protecting women's rights and so on, right? But only today, on your X account, to millions of people, you said this: stop letting women vote.
Chow says I must be broke. Yeah, dude, I'm broke and I fucked way hotter chicks than you ever will. And I'm not a tech-savvy bitch. I'm not like a Zoomer. I don't live on Pornhub and Onion and Tor. I don't know about computers, dude. I don't fucking, I don't know how to edit my YouTube shit. So I have a life.
Giving women position as judges. Stop giving women political appointments. As soon as only men run government and law, all the problems disappear. Women now understand that without male protection, they're nothing but victims. You are not a girl boss. There is no such thing. Crying for Iriana is a wake-up call for females. And honestly, I don't think I've ever read a more ludicrously misogynistic, hypocritical load of claptrap in my life. How can you pretend to be standing up for women's rights when actually what you want to do is subjugate women of all their rights? How do those two things sit without you being a brazen hypocrite?
You are conflating subjugation with protection. It turns out that it's the big, evil, mean misogynists who say that his woman shouldn't have to work in a pizza parlor, or that she can't defend herself on a bus, or that she shouldn't be walking outside alone, I should go with her. It's those big, evil, mean misogynists who actually care about
You don't even want women to vote.
It is the
you don't even want to give women the right to vote.
Chow says I've only been with mid-grade bitches. Dude, because I'm not a pervert, little fucking midget, troll fucking pervert like you. I actually respect women. I'm conservative. I don't take pictures of their ass or me with their dick in their mouth or shit that you're never gonna do with hot chicks in your whole lifetime.
The liberals, the Democrats, the idiots who are going to sit there and pretend that a woman should be able to make her own money and take a public transport alone and sit next to a black guy and not worry about it. All of their worldviews led to her murder. I remember when I spoke to her on October 8th, I said,
absolute nonsense.
You said, why don't the women have jobs?
What you're saying is absolute. Yeah, but Andrew,
society is broken down. We built society specifically
what you're
for the
saying,
reason that women used to have to walk around with a permanent male chaperone.
Yeah.
And society was built so that women could go outside and interact with the world without a chaperone.
Yeah.
Society was built by evil, misogynistic men. And then these feminists came along and destroyed it all. I believe in protecting women because I don't believe they can fight. If that makes me a misogynist, so be it.
Let me respond.
That was beautiful. Chow fucked it up. So let me rewind this shit so that Chow can learn what real men think.
A brazen hypocrite.
You are conflating subjugation with protection. It turns out that it's the big, evil, mean misogynists who say that his woman shouldn't have to work in a pizza parlor, or that she can't defend herself on a bus, or that she shouldn't be walking outside alone, I should go with her.
Here's some ammunition that Chow could talk shit on me. Irina Zdratruska, she's quite younger than me, but my broke ass, I would have starved myself to pay all her bills so she doesn't have to ride with pieces of shit like him on fucking the city bus. And yeah, but unfortunately, she didn't defect to Russia, she defected here.
Big, evil, mean misogynists who actually care about
it. And she ran into Chow's boyfriend.
Want women to vote.
It is the
you don't even want to give women the right to vote.
The liberals, the Democrats, The idiots who are going to sit there and pretend that a woman should be able to make her own money and take a public transport alone and sit next to a black guy and not worry about it. All of their worldviews led to her murder. I remember when I spoke to you on October 8th.
Absolute nonsense.
You said, why don't the women have jobs?
What you're saying is absolute. Yeah, but Andrew,
society is
Andrew,
we built society specifically.
What you're
for the
saying
reason that women used to have to walk around with a permanent male chaperone.
Yeah.
And society was built so that women could go outside and interact with the world without a chaperone.
Yeah.
Society was built by evil, misogynistic men. And then these feminists came along and destroyed it all. I believe in protecting women because I don't believe they can fight. If that makes me a misogynist, so be it.
No,
women like men who protect
let me respond.
No woman wants to be seen as a man's equal in the realm of martial combat.
The reason I'm going to try and talk.
Women who vote for liberalism.
I'm going to try and talk.
Women who vote for open
Let me
borders.
talk.
A female judge laid them out. And this is a wake-up call to all women to listen to the bad guys.
Oh, they've had the wake-up call. Okay.
And the good guys.
Stop talking.
When your severe asthma says you can't, Tespire says you can. Tespire is an add-on treatment for people 12 and over that
Stop talking.
Want you stabbed in the neck
Okay,
and dead.
stop talking. So you, again, just to repeat, you said this today in your rant. Stop letting women vote. Stop giving them positions as judges. Stop giving them political appointments. As soon as only men run government and law, all the problems disappear. Women now understand that without male protection, they're nothing but victims. I can't think, do you even understand how misogynist that is?
Well, let me ask you a question. Who votes for liberalism? Who votes for soft on crime? Who votes for open borders? Who votes for DEI? By and large, male or female, which sex is it?
Wow, you're really doubling down, aren't you?
What was the gender of the judge who let this man out his 14th time in court? Male or female?
Wow.
Female.
Wow.
Why was this woman going to work and riding the tram late alone at night instead of thinking this is dangerous or I need to find a man to take care of me? Why was she doing this? Because she probably believed that she can go and fend for herself and deal with herself out in the world. She doesn't need male protection. Bad things happen when we ignore reality. I'm not a misogynist and I'm not a racist. I am a realist.
Yeah, guys, so check this out. To play devil's advocate, I am very impressed by some women's like professionalism or hard work ethic and shit like this, right? We live in a day and age where fucking dudes are being cucks, right? I have to say that, but nonetheless, the most elegant creatures I've ever seen. This one chick, her name was Natalie, right? Natalie she knew she was beautiful and men were so nice to her and she wasn't stuck up about it. She would enter a room and other chicks could, I'm a bad bitch, I'm independent, woo woo woo, right? And they could be all ghetto. When it was her time to talk, she was just kind of like, well, she's like with her fucking like, she just played like this innocent like kind of an airhead, like she has no stake in the fight. She's just cool. She's just her own person. You know, she doesn't, and made every guy like, oh my, Natalie, you're such a good, like, God, I do not know how to explain it, guys. Natalie what I'm trying to say is, Natalie's gonna get a man who owns like 2 big ass trucks, who could fix everything in her house, could fix her car. She's not gonna have to work for a living. All she's gonna have to do is pop out a couple kids, walk on the Stairmaster a couple times a week, and she's gonna be adored. She doesn't care about being a boss bitch, independent, this, that. She don't give a fuck. And she knows she's a valuable commodity. And a lot of other bitches that have this, oh, I'm a bad bitch, I'm strong, independent, this, that, and this, they have like buff shoulders, dude. They have like more testosterone than some men. It's not elegant. And the only dudes that want to fuck something like that are kind of desperate and watch like a lot of porn or some shit. Because a real man wants to make love to like an elegant, Andrew Tate says, he's like, I want a chick that cries over a butterfly. I don't want some lumberjack, buff-shouldered looking fucking pseudo strong independent fucking ogre bitch. You know what I mean? So it's not that. And women, the reason why women cannot have these positions of authority, like a priest or a pastor or something like that, I'm sorry, but unless the chick's an ugly lesbian, women don't understand the crosses that men have to carry in life. They don't understand loneliness, rejection, the glory and danger of competition and defeat and shame, and having to pull yourself back up and work for nothing, having to get up and slave away and be a fucking wage slave day in, day out for some chick that could just divorce you, some children that don't appreciate you, a job that doesn't pay enough. You get the coffee girls, the baristas, they treat you like shit. You're getting old, you're getting ugly. If you're not spending money, then you're loitering. And you're only worth your numbers. You're only worth what you make for a living, right? Unless you're a Butch Dyke ogre, lumberjack ass looking fucking Launchpad McQuack fucking ogre bitch, you're not gonna understand the woes and struggles and turmoil that men have to deal with. So it's insulting. It's insulting if a female officer is condescending to you. It's insulting if now I understand it's a little bit different. Let's say your boss, okay? Your boss's wife helps run the business. Of course you gotta be cordial and respectful to her. There's queens. Jesus's mother is a queen. But for the most part, for 9 times out of 10, you want a chick like Natalie. You don't want some, I think I'm a big badass ogre bitch. It's disgusting. I was dating some butterface ass cougar, ugly, great body. Her and her friends would divorce their husbands just about the time their last kids are going to graduate high school. Then they want to go live like they're 19 years old again with younger men, and they claim to be strong, independent women, right? But they're driving the truck that they got from their husband from alimony and shit. It's just stupid. And their rationale is like, oh, I got up every day at 10 a.m. and took care of some kids. I worked hard, and they always throw that. No one said you didn't work hard. Like, it's like they have to let it be known, and they just look stupid.
Sir, I am a realist. White people are being subjugated.
So you're blaming this.
Clear.
So just to be clear,
need to understand that it takes a bad guy to be a bad guy.
Okay.
And the big, evil, mean, toxically masculine misogynist. Yeah. Let me tell you something. I'm the only guy on that train who would have killed that guy before he got off of me.
Yeah.
I would have took the knife off him and stabbed him in his neck.
Sure.
Only me. No one else did.
Very macho.
It takes a bad guy to beat a bad guy.
Very macho of you, but what you're basically inferring is that she brought this on herself.
No, what I'm inferring
is
that society was built to protect women. And when you protect something, you must restrict something. We have taken that restriction, we've taken that protective instinct, conflated it into subjugation. You did it at the beginning of this questioning.
Yeah.
You tried to say
when you remove a woman's right to vote, when you remove a woman's right to work and vote, and all these other things, you are reducing women to your chattel.
The society we live in now, women are permanent prey every single time they leave the house because of all of these liberal, femme-minded.
Maverick Griffin says, why am I watching a scammer yap to an old guy? Because people aren't like you, dude. They don't watch fucking porn. They're not watching 2 girls in 1 bucket or fucking tranny porn or whatever incels do late on their Saturday night. I'm at work, guys, doing this shit. What are you doing here on a Saturday fucking night? It's sad.
Do you think?
Girl Fields, Girl Boss,
and why
Netflix,
do you think?
Piers Morgan.
And what? Okay, and why do you think? And Andrew Tate, why do you think it is that people think you're a misogynist?
Nobody thinks that.
You don't understand why, do you? You can't even get it as you spew this stuff.
Oh, I understand that there's weaponized virtue. I understand that.
Oh, it's not weaponized virtue.
I understand, sir.
You don't believe in women's rights.
I understand
You don't believe in women's rights.
It's not that women can't have rights, man. It's like,
damn, sir.
You don't believe in women's rights.
I understand the
You
same
don't believe
media
in women's
who
rights.
refuse to report on this woman dying.
Yeah.
Say I'm a bad guy.
Yeah, but you're trying to portray yourself.
This guy wants a virtue signal about women's rights, the liberal old fuck. But that's the kind of guy that gets like, has to answer to his wife and eat soy.
You're trying to portray. Okay, stop shouting. You're trying to portray yourself as the savior of women.
No,
you at the same time.
I'm not.
You at the same time you want to remove all their rights. You're a despicable misogynist. That's all you are.
What I'm trying to say to you is that protection comes with a degree of restriction. That is the basic.
They can't vote. They can't work. They can't have meaningful jobs. They can't help run governments. What can women do in your world? What can women do in your world?
What the fuck is a meaningful job, fucking Pierce Morgan? I'll tell you what a meaningful job is. Megyn Kelly has a meaningful job. That's pretty cool, right? But let me tell you something about Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly is a beautiful woman, right? She's got a chin bigger than mine, and she's like, dude, that's a fucking woman, dude. That's what a conservative woman is supposed to look like, right? But let me bring you back to the girls talking about Natalie. Natalie's a fucking girl you make searing love to, like, oh honey, like, I don't care about doing triple X shit with you. I don't care about doing quadruple X shit with you. That is like, oh please, like, dude, the most beautiful chick I ever fucked. I did the Tyrone thing and I fucking squirted all the way up in her because I was trying to be like, you're gonna be attached to me forever one way or another, and I'm gonna, you know, whatever other stepdad comes in, whoop his ass. If it, anyways, yeah, Megyn Kelly is pretty hot, right? But she's not, majestically cute. I don't understand. I don't know. Yeah, I was gonna flex and show some hot chick, but who cares? Let me go back to the video. So anyway, Megyn Kelly even said that for a woman in her position, it costs her. Like, it costs her. She's not like a mom, right? Or maybe she is a mom, but she had to have kids at a later age. It's not that healthy for women to have kids at a late age, guys. I'm an ogre. I'm like 7 foot tall. I'm like 3 times the size and strength of normal men. And it's because my dad banged my mom when she was like 19 years old. It's just the older they get, the more they're sipping on that vodka and Boone's Farm and staying all night long swiping on Chad. You're diminishing the potentiality of your eggs, especially with all this mandatory COVID vaccines and government cheese and EBT welfare and giving birth to Colin Kaepernick and shit too early. That's what's going to make your eggs deprecate, and that's going to fuck up society. That's why Andrew Tate knows what he's talking about.
The same media who won't even report about this poor girl.
Never mind poor girl. What about the way you're talking about women?
Liars.
What about the way you're talking about women?
How am I talking about them? I'm saying that women voting and women not listening to men or letting them protect them, or female judges put us in this position. That is true.
You think women should be
a man's job?
You think women should stay at home, do you?
And if we
women
do
should
that,
stay at home, yeah?
Control. Pierce,
should women stay at home, Andrew?
What time to be home? Is it because I'm a horrible misogynist and I subjugate them?
Should
or is
women?
It because I care about them?
Do you believe that women should stay at home and just be?
I asked you a question and you've asked a lot.
No, I'm asking you the question.
I tell my daughters what time to be
I'm
home.
asking you the question.
He's saying, oh, should women that's the kind of guy that says, oh, my woman, she's out at yoga knitting class and she's really getting railed by Chad or Tyrone. It's a cuck. Yeah, your woman's supposed to be fucking home, dude. Or else they're gonna be out getting stabbed by fucking Tyrone the Klepto Cyclone and Toby McGillinuggets and Humberto the horny Haitian homunculus from Honduras.
You can shut up as much as you want. It won't make any difference. Do you believe a woman's place is at home? No work, no job, no right to vote, no right to be in a government, no right to be a judge. Do you believe all those things?
I believe a woman has a different set of skills than a man. And I believe that when it comes to the protection of society, and society is primarily the protection of women and children, that is the duty of men. Decisions around that, e.g. judge, should be made by men. Enforcement, e.g. police, should be made by men. And the best prevention, the best cure, is to avoid something happening in the first place. Therefore, restrictions should be made by a man who cares about the woman. That is why my daughters have a curfew. Not because I'm a misogynist, not because I want to subjugate them, not because I'm an evil person, because I care about them and I love them, and I protect them by keeping them away from possible scenarios. Instead of trying to run in like Rambo, the scenario's already begun.
Yeah, by keeping them at home.
Yes, if I want my daughter to be safe, she has to be home at a certain time. If that makes me a bad person, Peter, you can call up the rest of the liberal media, the same media who don't report on a woman getting stabbed in the neck.
I hear you.
Do a big expose
I hear you.
about how Andrew
I
takes
hear you.
daughters.
And what skills do you want your daughters to have?
The biggest thing for me is reliability. Something that stays on their word. And when they tell you they're going to do something, they're going to do it.
Are they supposed to be able to wield nunchucks and fucking swords?
Just like always. You show up.
What skill? What
skills? What?
Dude, what fucking skills are women supposed to have, Pierce? You're gonna have a woman mechanic. You're gonna have a woman she's gonna fucking use her bare hands to twist off your hot ass fucking oil filter, right? What you want a woman with a jackhammer to fucking work on your new yacht house or some shit? What do you want a woman to be able to fucking change out the magazine on an Armalite really fast as fuck while running and looking around? Like, what the fuck skills are you talking about, you dumb fuck? You're supposed to do nunchucks and shit? Juggle fire?
Skills do you want your daughters to have?
I want my daughters, very much like the other women in my life, to be as happy as possible, to feel protected, to feel safe, and I want them to focus on the number one thing they're good at. I really pray that my daughters have children with a man they love, ASAP, and focus on motherhood. I think that's the best thing for my bloodline. I think it's the best thing for their happiness. I think it's the best thing for society. Because, this conversation could go on for 6 hours. There's many things you don't know. But the only reason these savages are in our country in the first place is because in the Western world, the native people have stopped reproducing. And that is a conversation which is 3 hours long about all the reasons why. White people don't have babies anymore. GDP is all made up. The Ponzi scheme, which is pensions, is about to collapse. We now have to import a whole bunch of psychopathic third worlders, and people are going to get stabbed and die for it. So what I will do, because I will do my very best to try and contribute to society by every metric, is encourage my daughters to find a man they love and have as many children as they possibly can. That's what I'll encourage my daughters to do.
What if one of them wants to job?
Kids that need to be alive.
What if one of them wants to get out and work?
Past 8 o'clock, because Dad says so.
And what if one of your girls says, "Hey, Dad, can I go out and get a job?" Your answer is no, is it?
My answer is, why do you need a job?
No, your answer would be no, right? Just to be clear.
My answer would be convince me, but most likely no. But maybe they can convince me. Maybe they can say we need to save the turtle.
And if they say, I want to have a right to vote in my country, your answer, if your daughters say, and if your daughters say, if your daughters say they want to vote,
the answer would be no.
And if your daughters,
what's so tragic, Pierce?
And if
what's so tragic about this case we're not talking about? The majority of women who ran away from Ukraine ended up in Dubai as a sugar baby to a millionaire. This poor girl tried to do the right thing. She's the only one who wasn't chasing money. She wasn't the only one being a sugar baby. She wasn't the only one selling herself. She went to a terrible part of America, North Carolina. I don't know why she's there of all cities. And she's working in a pizza parlor, making minimum wage, probably trying to retain her dignity and respect instead of selling out to some rich guy. And she gets stabbed in the neck. We are forcing women into basic prostitution now because they can't have a job. Why do all these women do OnlyFans? They can't go out and have a job. Why do all these women share rich men? They can't go out and have a job. Why do all these women move to Dubai? They can't go out and have a job. If you're a pretty girl in Memphis, Tennessee, you can't work at a pizza parlor. You can't go outside. You can't walk down the street. You can't get a taxi.
What a load of crap.
The seventh girlfriend to a millionaire, do OnlyFans.
What a load of absolute crap.
Have a rich father.
And by the way,
how destroyed our society.
And by the way, how could you?
Society is so
sorry.
Women can't even work jobs.
Sorry. Forgive me. Okay, stop talking. Stop talking. Forgive me, but irony just died. Are you really lambasting people for doing OnlyFans when you ran a webcam operation?
I didn't lambast. I said that's what they're going to do.
Right.
Because women are not safe to do
anything
else.
You literally paid them to do a similar thing on webcam.
10 years ago, I had a webcam company, correct.
So you literally did the same thing.
I'm not anti-OnlyFans.
That's how you employed women.
that women cannot work jobs anymore. This is why nightlife has died. Women don't go out anymore. You know why London has absolutely no nightlife? What girl
When were you last out in London?
On a Thursday night is going to walk around at 2
When
a.m.
were you last out in London?
None. The whole city is
When were you last out in
America's
London?
the same. People aren't going to meet anymore.
I was out in London the other day with packed with people, including
Nobody
many
does
women.
anything but sits inside on their phone, and it's because the streets are running with blood.
Really? Well, I was out in London the other day, packed with people, having a good time, including many women, most of whom will find your views utterly ridiculous. Utterly Dickensian and ridiculous.
Who's not
A
obsessed.
woman's place is at home, no vote, no job, no power, but you, Andrew Tate, believe that's the way to protect them and to save women for the world. What a joke.
I believe if we
What
were
is
to
it? What
bring
a
up
joke.
that Coral Map.
What a
right
joke.
now,
I hope young men,
No, this is your
I
chance
hope
to
young
do
men who
something
watch this
incredible.
interview
This is your
realise
chance to
the
prove me
emperor
wrong
wears
for the
no
first time in
clothes.
history.
Because
Bring up an
actually all you
electoral
want
map
to
with the
do is
United
subjugate
States
women.
with only men vote, and let's see if it's Democratic or Republican.
Only
let's see if
men
it's Democratic,
vote.
liberal, left-leaning, or
Yeah.
Republican.
Only men
only
vote.
votes the American continent.
I
Please
want
bring it
young
up,
men.
Rob.
I
Please.
want young men to watch this
Please.
interview. I want them to watch it back several times and understand that actually underpinning your whole shtick is brazen, really damaging misogyny. You are a terrible misogynist, and that is the truth. And you may pretend you're not, even maybe to yourself. But when you talk about the way you want to subjugate women, no vote, no job, no power, but you, Andrew Tate, will take control of them and take charge and protect them. Do me a bloody favour. Why would
My
anyone
daughter
want to do
has
that?
no vote, no power, listens to daddy, does everything I say. She's alive, well, and drives a Bentley. Let me
Right.
tell you something, Pierce. I've asked you many single questions. I've asked you many questions on this interview, and you answered absolutely none of them for a reason.
My job is the
You
interviewer.
are
I answer the
vote.
questions. You
Complaining
don't.
about the vote, bring up an electoral map of men only voting in America. Let's look if men are voting for these soft on crime, open border policies of the Democrats, or if men are voting Republican. Prove me wrong. This is your chance, Mr. Piers Morgan, legend of the legacy
You're
media,
mistaking
Mr.
me.
Smartass.
You're
Come on,
mistaking
man.
me.
Prove
You're
me
mistaking me for a fellow misogynist, and I'm not.
wrong. No, you don't want to prove me right, sir.
Grip, stability, precision. That's the essence of driving. Lawfit.
There's something alluring. Something lucky. Something spectacular in the Agua. With 3 award-winning destinations, each with its own distinct personality, there's always something new waiting for you to discover. Agua Caliente Casinos, 3 premier properties, 1 extraordinary experience.
Right, sir. But
I don't have to prove you right or wrong.
Every single time.
People have heard you.
There's nothing but decimation of your decimation
Okay.
of the little bit of legacy you have left, a little bit of credibility that you've
People
retained.
will watch. Well, we'll see how your credibility fares after your court cases, right? And like I say,
Same as it did in Romania.
Like I say,
Same as it did in Romania.
I don't know the
I am innocent. I am the victim of a deep state.
I think
attack
it's going to
by
be
the
very,
British
very.
No, if you were a real journalist, Pierce, if you were a real journalist, I just told you that the British Foreign Office wrote to another sovereign nation declaring me a national security threat and asking them to get me off the internet. Don't you think you should have asked a single question about that? How I know it? What proof I have? Is it on paper? Why did they do that? Is that legal? Why were you in jail without charges? 4 years locked in your house, never convicted. You never even went to court. If you were a real journalist, you would have asked me 20 questions. And you know what? I told you that. I told you something breaking, that the British Foreign Office broke international law, just like they did with Julian Assange, and you didn't care because you are an establishment figure. All you are is a figurehead for the Matrix itself. You don't care about the truth ever. You say what you're supposed to say.
The beauty of what
you say what you're supposed to say.
The beauty of this interview is that you've revealed the truth about yourself. You just don't even really realize it, or maybe you do and you don't care. But everyone watching this can now see you laid bare as a brazen misogynist, somebody who wants to remove all women's rights. And I say that makes you a dangerous misogynist with an unhealthy influence over young men. And they should watch this interview and understand very clearly that actually women should have the right to vote. They should have the right to work. they should have the right to hold positions of power, and that your kind of misogyny is actually taking us back 150 years to a place where women stayed at home
should have the right
and had
to ride
children
the subway
and took
without
care
being
of their
stabbed in
man.
the neck.
And if we went back to that
Women
far,
should have the right to go outside without being raped by third world
yeah,
migrants.
you know what? The
Women
vast
should have
majority
the
of
right
women
to have
do go
children
outside without
because
that happening
the
to
man
them.
they're having kids with can earn enough money to pay for the family. Women have more important rights than being psyoped by the media into caring about abortion, watching too much Sex in the City, and voting in a whole bunch of psychopaths who stab fellow women on the bus.
Right. Andrew Tate, appreciate you coming back on Uncensored. Thank you.
No problem.
Breaking news, woke is dead. The war on common sense is actually over. Cancelled celebrities are emerging from Twitter jail. Virtue signaling has been outlawed under punishment of mass ridicule. And we are finally free to call a spade a spade. So what was the cause of death? How did the silenced majority finally win? And what exactly is going to take its place? Woke is Dead is my definitive story on the rise and fall of woke, as well as the common sense heroes and PC villains who have dominated news and culture across 10 years of madness. It's also my personal roadmap back to a less divided world. A world where we can agree to disagree, where debate triumphs over censorship, and where common sense is king. You will be shocked by how much you agree with me. Piers Morgan Uncensored is proudly independent. The only boss around here is me. If you enjoy our show, we ask for only one simple thing. Hit subscribe on YouTube and follow Piers Morgan Uncensored on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And in return, we will continue our mission to inform, irritate, and entertain. And we'll do it all for free. Independent, uncensored media has never been more critical, and we couldn't do it without you.
Jiffy Lube's fast 15-minute oil change service is even faster than Joey Logano telling a story.
267 laps, one by one, pit stop after pit stop, and got to the lead and crazy.
Jiffy Lube.
I'll read a tweet that he said assassination culture is spreading on the left. 48% of liberals say it would be at least somewhat justified to murder Elon Musk. 55% said the same about Donald Trump. In California, activists are naming ballot measures after Luigi Mangione. The left is being whipped into a violent frenzy. I worry about labeling this left versus right. And there's one of your tweets, I'm sure you were emotional when you posted it, and you said just civil war. That's what you said.
I said civil war is coming. Because the only prerequisite to war, the only way to avoid war is a degree of negotiation or discourse, which is why I asked you the very well-constructed question just a second ago. How do we have discourse with people that we can't politely speak to and we can't disagree with, and we have to completely capitulate to their false worldview? Otherwise, we deserve a bullet in the neck. Explain to me how discourse can solve this. This is me genuinely asking you a question. I
don't know. Ben Shapiro canceled all his appearances.
So civil war is going to be the end result. I'm not calling for violence. What I'm making very clear is that there is no alternative if these people will not sit down and have a conversation. You know, America's in a very difficult predicament. I understand the free speech. I understand we want to live in a democracy and freedom. I understand these things. But if we're going to allow social media platforms to celebrate people's deaths the way that Charlie's death is currently being celebrated, the country is going to disappear within 5 years. So if I was president, normally I have all the answers. But now, for once, I'm stumped. What would I even do as president? Can I lock all these people up? Probably not. Can I round them all up? No. Am I just going to let them celebrate and laugh? Am I going to let every single person who says something controversial be threatened with death? Am I going to allow every single time Andrew Tate or Nick Fuentes or you or Elon or anyone makes a post that these people don't agree with, for them to start writing underneath that Charlie Kirk, LOL, coming next, and radicalizing more and more people to believe that we deserve to die? Let me ask you a question. I have daughters. I think that human traffickers should be killed. I'm sure you think the same. The media called me a human trafficker for 4 years and I've never been convicted. There are people who believe I deserve to die. I've never been convicted of a crime and I'm innocent. I didn't do anything. That's why this man came here with a knife to kill me. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? How can I have political discourse with these people? How can I explain to them this was a hit job on me and my reputation? How can I talk to them if they don't believe that a man who puts on a wig isn't actually truly a woman? How do I talk to somebody who doesn't believe in gravity? How do I talk to someone whose worldview is so warped and so corrupted? They don't understand the basic premises of Earth, the basic realities. They don't believe in the sun, the moon, the sky, the ground. How can I talk to these people? And when I try, no matter how articulate, in fact, this isn't about me. When Charlie was articulate, kind, interesting, witty, he was polite, he gave his time. When he tried his very best to explain to them how they were wrong and repeatedly decimated them in the world of logic, all they do instead of learning their lesson is call for his death and laugh when it happens. How do I find a political solution to this? It's a genuine question.
I don't know. Like I was speaking to Congressman Jim Jordan just a few days ago, as well as Ben Habib in the UK, which I know you're doing some political stuff in the UK, and they both said the US is the final front for free speech. It's the pinnacle of free speech. And then when you have people like Ben,
but this is the thing that's so dangerous, Mario. For there to be free speech, there can't be limits on the speech, but there must be within the population a basic understanding and parameters of objective reality. Everybody must understand gravity exists, right? There can't be free speech if everybody's saying, let's throw children off of buildings, gravity is not real. Eventually you're calling for murder. At a certain point, when objective reality has been decimated to the point where there are no parameters left, like this man-woman crap, or how killing children is somehow important to do, or that we shouldn't have borders and unlimited numbers of people should turn up and we don't know who they are, or we shouldn't arrest criminals and criminals shouldn't go to jail. When you have absolutely no parameters left, how can you have free speech without inciting for what exactly happened? At a certain point, free speech just becomes inciting for violence, and the violence comes because these people do not have respect for life. They don't have respect for a different opinion. They don't have respect for anything. So we've lost control of a large percentage of the Western population who live in a fantasy land. And in their fantasy land, they think people deserve bullets in the neck unless you also drink the Kool-Aid. What is the political solution to this? There are people who I know when they get me, there's going to be large celebrations. And people are going to say, he said women can't park cars. He deserves to die and orphan all his children because of a joke. But they will make jokes about Charlie Kirk's death. And they don't care. They don't see the hypocrisy in that. These people are soulless. The West has lost its soul. There is no honor left. Not even the basic masculine dignity of showing respect to a fallen enemy. Nothing. There is nothing left. I want you to speak to Elon. I want to get on the rocket and go to Mars. I am completely heartbroken. Not just because of Charlie. Not just because I know I'm next. I'm heartbroken for humanity. I'm ready to die. I've had a great life. I'm heartbroken for the Western world as we know it. And anyone with a brain should be.
What I love about the Ascend checking account is all the great benefits. I can monitor my credit. It's a free account and it really helps with my busy lifestyle. What I love about Altura is that they are low fees or no fees. And that's great for somebody who's just about to open a checking account, like my kids. They need to learn a lot about money and it really does help them when they don't have to worry about fees. I mean, I have a teenager who's like, hey, send me $9 because I need to eat something. Also, what I love about Altura Credit Union is that they are about the community. They are nonprofit, not like a big institution, so they do really help the community. Thank you, Altura, for making me feel like I'm a family and not just a number. You guys have always been there for me from 20 years ago up until now.
I remember when we did a space not long after Trump's assassination, I think on the same day, and that was before that, and you said on the space, I will never kill myself. And Elon said something similar, and I think, I'm not sure what, Alex Jones might have said something similar on that space. And, you know, afterwards we saw Trump's assassination attempt, and now we saw Charlie shot in the neck. It seems like we're just slowly walking into that world, and we keep moving on. People have moved on from the president almost killed just a few months ago. What do you think is going to happen now after Charlie Kirk's death? Are we just going to move on and live our life like we did after Trump's assassination attempt?
I hope not. However, I think we do need a solid plan. I mean, it's easy to descend into chaos and more senseless acts of violence, but we need a solid plan, which is why I asked the question I asked earlier. What do we do about these people? This is a genuine question. I'm not even insinuating the answer. I'm asking, what do we do about the people who believe that it's good that he died? What do we do about the people who believe Elon Musk should die? What do we do about the people who believe that I, because the media lied about me for years and I was never convicted, should be dead? What do we do about the people who believe Candace Owens should die? What do we do about the person who was laughing that Nick Fuentes almost died? Nobody even knows they tried to kill me a month ago. Nobody even cares. What do we do about these people who want us dead? How do you live in a country where half of the people you interact with or see or walk past want you dead? How do you do that? This is a genuine question. How do you exist amongst people who want you gone? What's the answer? I don't see a political solution to this.
What's the other solution then?
Well, I mentioned the risk of civil war. And we have to be very careful here, right? We have to be very careful here. And I like you, Mario. You're a good friend of mine. But, you know, journalists in and of themselves love to get the rage bait answers. I'm not saying that's what you're doing, but that's what the left has certainly been doing for a very long time. I'm not calling for anybody to be dead. What I'm trying to say is that normally, with every single problem, I consider myself a man who knows all the solutions and knows all the answers. But after this, I'm sitting here thinking, what do we do? And I'll be honest, if I was in charge of America, the people who are laughing and dancing and celebrating Charlie Kirk's death, I believe, should end up feeling the force of the law. But how does that affect free speech and how is that weaponized against us into the future? I don't know. And then you have to go down a deeper rabbit hole. You're currently in Dubai. Dubai is safe and Dubai is secure, it looks like, or the Middle East. You're somewhere safe and secure. America is no longer safe and secure for anybody. It's not safe and secure anymore. So how do you restore this? How do you restore unity? How do you restore sanctimonium? How do you fix these things? Because America doesn't just have domestic enemies. It has international enemies. There's a reason everyone's running away from America and running away from Europe and running to Dubai. Because it's a place where you can exist without the threat of being killed. But Dubai doesn't have free speech. Does free speech just end in tyranny? I don't know. How does this end? I'm not sure. What I'm saying is that if it was up to me, if I was the president, I would say, okay, we're going to have free speech, but we need to have some basic parameters we all understand and respect. Free speech works if we have the same view of history, the same view of what a successful society is, the same view of what a family is. You need to have some basic parameters. You can't have people who disagree on absolutely every single facet of existence and then have these people walking around with guns and then have unchecked media pieces stirring up hate. How will that end in anything other than assassinations?
But then what's the solution? Because in Europe, you're seeing the opposite. You're seeing free speech destroy one's freedom. We're seeing that abused in the UK. We're seeing
seven AFD politicians died before the election.
In Germany.
So people are dying everywhere for having the wrong point of view now. Because we're the Nazis. We're evil somehow. We've been demonized to the point where we deserve death. And because we're the rational ones, because we're the smart ones, we don't wish death upon our enemies. We wish enlightenment upon our enemies. I don't want liberals to die. I want them to wake up and live happy lives and contribute to society. But they want me dead. I want them to do better for themselves and for everyone else. They want me dead. And unfortunately, if you study history, the more extreme, the more radical, the more ruthless, the more likely you are to be successful. And this is a very sobering reminder that Sometimes the good guy doesn't win. Sometimes the most vicious, evil, backstabbing, conniving cheater wins.
Payback, and it's about to hit.
And as we remain rational, as we respect the Constitution, as we turn the other cheek, as we live and let live, as we say, well, these stupid animals with their soulless TikToks deserve the right to say it, as we do all of these things, we are signing our death warrant.
What happens to free speech now if the people that are speaking are just worried to speak out? You got Ben Shapiro canceled his appearances. I was with Cenk yesterday, one of his hosts canceled their appearance. You got all these different people increasing their security, and probably more will continue canceling appearances. What happens to speech if everyone's too scared to say the wrong thing and end up like Charlie Kirk?
Couple that with AI and you can't even tell who's real and who's not online anymore. So it's not even like you can turn to the internet because half of it's fake. We are descending into a nightmare, a technocratic, communistic nightmare. And we're not far away. And for once, I do not have all the answers. I don't know. And you know, it's interesting. It's very interesting because the human psyche is very prepared to give up its freedom for safety. COVID was a perfect example of that. You're in the Middle East right now. I'm a huge fan of the Middle East. It's amazing how instantly when you have a family and children, you're prepared to give up your ability to speak freely if they guarantee you safety. And there are some countries that do that. There are countries which will guarantee you physical safety if you don't say the wrong thing. And they're going to become more and more attractive to Westerners who realize that saying the things that need to be said to save the country, the people you're saving don't even respect it. The people you're trying to save want you dead. Do you understand that when I make policies for Bruv, talking about how to save the United Kingdom, British people tell me I deserve to die for saying that I want to improve their economy. Elon tried to save the world and they want him dead. Imagine how Elon feels. Imagine being Elon and risking your entire fortune and all your life to buy Twitter, to allow people to speak freely, and then they just insult him all day. Do you have any idea how much faith he's lost in humanity? Do you blame him? Some people are just so soulless and so lost. Some people are so hopelessly dependent on the system, they will fight to defend it. They are agents of the matrix. And you know, I want to talk from a personal perspective here. What Elon did was so amazing when he opened up X, because he's a very rich man who didn't have to do it. I'm nowhere near as rich as Elon. But I tell you, for a council estate kickboxer from the poorest town in England, I've done all right. I have hundreds of millions. And then I tried my very best to wake people up and tell people the truth and tell everyone at home how this world really works and how they have to resist enslavement. And sometimes you see the amount of backlash you get and the amount of hate you get from the people you're trying to help. And you understand why the elites just take their money and run. You understand why they just take their money, go to somewhere quiet and private, and leave the serfs in their slavery to just suffer. Because the serfs rejoice when bad things happen to you. Because they're too afraid to get into the arena. A coward will always laugh at a gladiator who loses, because the coward feels an innate shame for his lack of bravery. He hates himself because he doesn't have the bravery to do the right thing. So when he sees a brave man fall, he loves to laugh. Charlie was trying to help the exact same people who were laughing at his death. Do you have any idea how much damage this does to people's faith in humanity? Do the youth of America even deserve to be saved? Or do they?
At Jiffy Lube, we care about your time. We do quality oil changes with a careful vehicle review.
Great, I'll just catch up on emails.
And we do it fast.
All set. Can't thank you enough.
Jiffy Lube.
taking place. Okay. TMZ comes out, and everybody around the world finds out when the phone alert, Charlie Kirk is dead, right? Your phone is blown up. No matter where you are, your phone is blown up with text messages saying Charlie Kirk is dead. This is Harvey, who runs TMZ. It's a place known, I've been inside that place. It's a place that's known for having cameras everywhere. That's what you're known for. You're talking live all the time, right? Yeah. That's what TMZ is known for. You have cameras everywhere. That's your business model. That's how you blew up.
I was with you in every corner of every room. They capture every reaction.
You remember that?
Yep.
There's cameras everywhere.
Yep.
So perfect. If you're telling me there's cameras everywhere, and then this is how they react, employees of TMZ, when the announcement is made that Charlie Kirk has died, and then listen to his explanation afterwards. Go ahead, Rob.
Go.
That's the announcement. Exact second it was
Go to. We're live streaming.
Oh, Rob, I don't want you to show that. I actually want you to show the whole thing. There's another clip that I have that I posted in the notes, Rob. I don't know if you see that one or not.
Is this the one, Pat?
The one from Instagram. Play that one because I want people to see 10 seconds prior to that to see how it goes. Watch this.
Guess is we're going to see an image of this guy.
There's just live streaming.
Possibly in the next 20 minutes. The news conference is scheduled for 3 o'clock in Utah time, which is 2 o'clock Pacific, 5 o'clock Eastern. Janet, go.
The announcement is made. They realize how embarrassing this is. His partner's going to the back to tell everybody to be quiet.
The Fox.
Yeah, somebody go back.
Look, Trump just posted that Charlie Kirk is dead.
Yeah, you're right, Pat. You went to the back. You wanted to shut the hell up. Yeah. So now watch.
What did Trump say?
Okay, forget about this, Rob. Wow. Now go to, so the second. So then what do they do? If they go on ChatGPT, can you tell me exactly at this time that there was another crisis that took place in California for us to say that we were reacting to? They make the argument that they're reacting to, not you, Rob. I'm saying that's what they did. So they make the argument later on. Do you have the video of them saying what they were reacting to?
Yeah, him and the producer guy.
Yeah, and so this is when they're looking at it. Watch this, you folks.
We're live streaming all day during this tragedy. Right. When something happened in our office, as we were reporting the assassination of Charlie Kirk, there were some people in the back room away from our news desk here who were watching a car chase, and they were laughing, they were clapping, and you could hear it out here. And we want to make a couple of things clear. One is that I know these people, and they were not laughing. They were not reacting that way about Charlie Kirk's assassination. They were not. Okay. They would not work here if they did. And that being said, we acknowledge that it was horrible timing, and for that we are sorry. We apologize. We apologize. And if you wanted to hear that, and I get why if you're watching the stream, you may have felt that that's what the laughter was about. We assure you, it was
when
not
the laughter
about
is cheering,
that,
dude.
but it was horrible timing. And by the way, I get it too.
Do you believe them?
Wait a minute. Yeah. So they're saying the car chase. Okay. This is the car chase. Let's just show you, and you tell me if you believe them. Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, let's find it.
Tell me if this is the kind of a car chase that you would celebrate and scream. Tell me if it's that euphoric.
Oh, hello there. I have a confession to make. I've been cheating on my board games. This is Royal Kingdom, the latest puzzle game that's just come out, and I can't get enough of it. Oh, you won't believe this, but this game has no ads. Yep, you heard it right. No more pop-ups. Plus, the graphics are so good, I sometimes forget I'm not actually royalty. Or am I? Oh, can you believe it's also free? I mean, there are no ads, and it's free. How do they do it? And guess what? You don't even need Wi-Fi to play. Yeah, picture this. You're on a flight, and they announce that the in-flight Wi-Fi is down. Panic starts to set in. No Wi-Fi for 6 hours? Ah! But then I remembered Royal Kingdom. It saved my life. 6 hours flew by, and I actually enjoyed the flight. So what are you waiting for? You should download Royal Kingdom today. game changer.
Go ahead, Rob.
We're showing you right there on the banner below. You can see it started in Temple City, and we saw that. Go ahead.
25 miles an hour. Well, I wanted to let you know that President Trump has said Charlie Kirk has died. So that is the breaking news that we are likely about to have with ABC News. He was shot in Utah at a college there. We've been talking about that throughout the afternoon here.
Rob. Okay, so he's not lying. They are watching a car chase, and they are reacting to a car chase because the announcer on the car chase said that Charlie Kirk is dead.
Thank you.
So Harvey is essentially in his mind, while we're not lying. Go back 20 seconds again, Rob, and watch what happens. Go back a little bit more, go, right there. Watch what the announcer said. Here's the car chase that they're talking about, Temple City, go ahead.
President Trump has said Charlie Kirk has died. So that's
what they're
breaking news that we are likely
to
have with ABC News.
So
he was shot.
So they're watching the car chase.
So, yeah.
The announcer announces Charlie Kirk's dead, and it seems like in all likelihood that's when they cheer.
You tell me
There's
what
nothing excitable.
While that second the car
this
chase.
isn't O.J. Simpson and the White Bronco.
Exactly. Pat, that I'm sorry. That the first of all, disgusting of who they are. What TMZ like somebody an ex-employee. Claims, these are claims all over that I saw on X, that the newsroom was filled with hateful, angry, progressive energy, and he said it would, without question, laugh at Charlie Kirk getting shot. Shame on them for lying. Shame, have the balls to just tell the truth. You know what, guys? We're freaking leftists, we're progressive. You know what? Charlie is a voice that says stuff that we don't like. We are happy that he was shot in the freaking neck in front of his family.
I don't know if it's the entire organization. Let me tell you.
No, I'm saying what this guy's saying it's filled with hateful, angry progressives.
And I believe that.
Yes.
That I believe.
This is the guy.
I believe that exists.
Yes.
That those types of people are in there. This is the question I want to ask all of you guys. Do you believe Harvey's happy that Charlie Kirk is dead? I don't believe so.
I don't think that's his
Do
personality.
you believe the guy to the right believes he's happy Charlie Kirk is dead?
I don't
believe
those
that.
two guys.
I think the guy on the right is actually fairly reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably both on the left, but I don't think they're happy Charlie Kirk is dead. The question I want to ask you is the following. Here's the question I want to ask you, okay? You said the price of freedom of speech is freedom of speech.
That's right.
Okay, fair. We're not happy by the way those employees reacted. They're celebrating. These guys are not telling the truth. Harvey, respectfully, you're not telling the truth. You're telling the truth that they reacted to a car chase, yes, but they reacted to what the announcer on the car chase said, not the actual car chase. There was nothing exciting happening the same exact second, the same exact minute to have that kind of a euphoric reaction. Okay? That's absolutely embarrassing. If you have all the cameras all over the place, that's your business model. Show the camera footage. You have it. What were they reacting to? You have the camera footage in the back. Everywhere in that facility has cameras. Number two, what should happen to those people in the back that were celebrating? You're operating the company. You find out somebody is celebrating that. What should happen to those people?
Well, first of all, that behavior is despicable. Freedom of speech is a man coming to a podium expressing his views, and you don't like it. Omar going with a reporter expressing her views, and we don't like it. And there's consequences. You can get unelected. There's a lot of things that can happen. That is despicable behavior. And that kind of thing, you're employed by somebody, and there are standards of behavior. There is freedom of speech, at Valuetainment, just like there is at every company. Pat, I hate you. I don't like working for you, and I think you're a horrible leader. And guess what? You know what that means? You're fired.
Yeah.
We can say, okay, well, I'm sorry that you have that opinion. That's pretty despicable behavior, and that's a despicable opinion. So guess what? You're fired. You don't have to work here.
What should happen here?
I think he should do it, because I think there's an irony here. My take on this, there's an irony. Harvey has made his career on busting celebrities that lie when they're arrested, and then this video, that video, this person, that person, and then they bust them. They go, no, no, no. Here's what really happened.
That's right.
And now Harvey's in the middle of it, right there, busted, and sitting there in front of the spotlight, the same way he put celebrities and other people in front of the spotlight, and would say, that's not what happened. TMZ got you. We paid an informant. We got this. And so he is not taking a leadership position in his company.
That's the problem.
Against despicable behavior.
But here's the question. The problem to me here is the way he handled it. That's the only problem I have, because this is how MSNBC handled it. We're not ones that wakes up in the morning saying MSNBC makes all the right decisions in the world with the values and principles they stand for. But watch what happened here. Go ahead, Rob.
Following up on what was just said, he's been one of the most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of aimed at certain groups. And I always go back to hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which then lead to hateful actions.
What happened to MSNBC afterwards? What did they do to that guy? He got fired. So you can love or hate MSNBC. What did MSNBC say? Hate it's not allowed in our company. MSNBC fires Matthew Dowd after Charlie Kirk's shooting comments, reports say. TMZ, Harvey, you have to make this good. I'm one that actually watched some of the stuff that you've done over the years, and it's actually good. For you to defend and lie about what they reacted to, you lost so much credibility with me. So much credibility with me for you to behave that way. This is not the right type of way to behave. You know your guy in the back was celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. Is that what the company represents? If you fully claim your lady in the back that was screaming or the employees that were screaming,
sounded like a few of them.
Show the videos. I want to see them. If you at all at this point are feeling angry and you relate to guys like Vinny, when we call Vinny or Tom calls Vinny the angry patriot, and that's stuck since that day till today, and you're in that community as well, you may want to go to vtmerch.com and place an order on Angry Patriot. We're going to put the link below, Rob, on the Angry Patriot, the hats, the shirts. There's a bunch of gear there. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.
Can you give me a definition of racism?
A discrimination against a minority class of people in order to create an unbalance in the society or a hierarchy based on something that is undetermined as of color, race, the color of your skin, or maybe even color of your skin.
Can you be racist against Asians?
Yes.
Can you be racist against white people?
I believe that you can have prejudice against white people.
If a group of black individuals, which happens unfortunately so often, say, we want to go beat up whitey, and they go beat up a white person, was that a racist thing that they did?
I would have to ask for further context, but yes. Based off of that, cool. Yes.
So, but then let's go back to your definition, because your definition was that it had to be the exercise of power. I'm going to make your definition better for you, because the exercise of power against a minority group.
Yes.
But in that case, it wouldn't be, because it would be a group of black individuals versus a white individual.
Correct.
So wouldn't a better definition of racism be a human being or institution prejudicing or stereotyping against anybody else because of their race?
This is a Muslim country, and every single one of you will be Muslim. It's just that simple. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, this religion of mine will enter every single home, whether you like it or not. It would overtake every religion, whether you like it or not.
This right here is what I'm talking about. I don't know how they do things over in Turkestan, but over here in America, we have freedom of religion. And what you're talking about sounds like a threat to me. And over here in America, we deal with threats harshly. My religion is the religion of the wood chipper, and you're invited to one of our services. We don't just have them on Sunday. That bitch is running 7 days a week. My wood chipper says that you can take your religious domination and your Sharia law, and you can pound it up your own ass. I support everybody's right to religious freedom, even yours. But it's that you're gonna be Muslim whether you like it or not type shit that makes people hate you, dog. You're sounding real sketchy on the boundaries of consent, and that requires a little bit of wood chipper therapy.
We're gonna shake your hand, please.
Sure.
I'm proud of you. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, God bless you. God loves you too. Thank you.
Oh, I just wanted to ask a question. Do you want to get shot?
No, I get shot. No.
This is Lexington.
Yeah.
And you're about to piss a lot of people off.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you need views, but this specific idea that you have brought up, I understand everyone has their own beliefs, but when you wound up shot, I told you so.
Well, if someone shoots me for preaching the gospel, then God will be glorified, and I'll be with him face to face.
Farmer Boyd's scratch made breakfast makes the weekend delicious. The best part of the week deserves the farm.
What happens when the most unpredictable guest in television history meets the most diplomatic late-night host and neither one backs down? You're about to witness the most explosive moment in late-night television, one that sent producers into a panic, stunned the audience, and caused one very famous guest to walk off stage. Before we dive into this incredible story, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and let me know in the comments what you think really got out of hand. The Tonight Show studio was buzzing with its usual pre-show energy, but tonight felt different. Donald Trump was scheduled to be the featured guest to promote his latest business venture, and everyone knew that this could mean anything. Jimmy Fallon, known for his gentle approach and ability to put even the most difficult guests at ease, had prepared his usual mix of flippant questions and games. When the show went live, Jimmy's opening monologue went off without a hitch and received the expected laughter from his studio audience. But as he introduced his guest, there was an unusual tension in the air that even the cameras seemed to catch. "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Donald Trump," Jimmy announced with his trademark enthusiasm. Though those who knew him well could detect a slight nervousness beneath his usual charm, Trump stepped forward with his trademark confidence, waving to the crowd and enjoying their mixed reaction of cheers and scattered cheers. He settled into the guest chair, adjusted his tie, and leaned back with that familiar grin. "Donald, it's good to have you back on the show," Jimmy began, trying to establish the cozy rapport for which he was known. "Jimmy, always a pleasure, although I have to say your ratings have been pretty sad lately." "Really sad, they count. I mean, if I'm not there, who's watching?" "Right." The tension that had the producers in the control room exchanging worried glances. Jimmy laughed nervously, trying to steer the conversation onto safer ground. "Well, we're grateful you're here tonight. I know you have some exciting projects you want to talk about." "Exciting doesn't even begin to describe it, Jimmy. But first, I have to ask, what's up with all the fake news stories about me lately? I mean, you're writers. Where do you get your material? From the same people who said I couldn't win. From the same people who said my business would fail." The audience quieted down, sensing that this wasn't going to be the typical light-hearted celebrity interview they'd expected. Jimmy's smile became more forced as he tried to maintain control. "Well, you know, we're trying to keep things funny here. Comedy is all about finding humor in current events. Or speaking of current events, let's talk about your new thing." No, Jimmy, let's talk about that. You've had me on your show before, remember? You messed up my hair. We had a good time. And then what happened? Your liberal friends in the media crucified you for being too nice to me. So now you're trying to make up for it by taking cheap shots. Jimmy's face turned slightly red. The audience was now completely silent, unsure if this was part of some elaborate prank or if there was real tension playing out in front of them. "Donald, I don't think this is fair. We've always treated our guests with respect here, regardless of politics. That's what this show is all about. Respect. Last week, your monologue had 3 jokes about me. 3. I counted them. My people counted them and they weren't even funny. I mean, if you're going to make fun of me, at least make it funny, right?" The control room was in a complete panic now. The producers were frantically debating whether to cut to commercial early, but the ratings skyrocketed when I spread the word on social media that something unheard of was happening. Jimmy took a deep breath. His media training kicked in. "Look, comedy has always been about making fun of public figures. We make jokes about everyone. It's nothing personal. Quote, nothing personal, Jimmy. Everything is personal when it comes to someone's reputation, their family, their life's work. Close bracket, right? Brace. Do you think that by hiding behind comedy, you get a free pass to tell lies? We don't tell lies here. We're a comedy show, not a news program. But people watch you for the news, don't they? They get their information from you, from your jokes, from your little sketches. You have influence, Jimmy, whether you like to admit it or not. The conversation was drifting into areas that The Tonight Show had never ventured into before. Jimmy was known for avoiding political confrontations, but Trump made it impossible to remain neutral. I think we should probably move on to talking about your projects, Jimmy suggested, his voice strained. Why? Because it makes you uncomfortable, because it's getting too real for your clean little show. That's the problem with you media people. Close bracket, right brace. You can dish it out, but when someone stands up to you, you can't handle it. Quote, the audience was now completely captivated, watching as if they were watching the real-time destruction of the typical late-night format. Some were filming with their cell phones, despite the efforts of security to prevent them from being recorded. Donald, I'm not trying to avoid anything. Close bracket, right brace. I just think our audience is here to be entertained, not to watch us argue. Argue? Is that what you say when someone points out your hypocrisy? Jimmy, you built your career on being the nice guy who doesn't take sides, but this is all just an act, isn't it? Jimmy's jaw tightened at the accusation, and for the first time in his career, his famous composure began to crack. The studio lights seemed to grow brighter. Oh, hotter as the tension reached a boiling point. An act, Donald, that's not an act. That's me. I'm trying to bring joy into people's lives, give them a break from all the negativity in the world. That's not wrong, that's intentional. We make jokes based on what's happening in the news. There's a difference. Trump leaned forward, his voice dropping to that dangerous tone that let anyone who interacted with him know trouble was coming. Jimmy, let me tell you what's happening in the news. Your show, your network, your entire industry has become a propaganda machine. You pretend to be neutral, but every joke, every laugh, every little smirk is designed to sway public opinion. That's ridiculous. We're entertainers, not political stooges. Really? Then why don't you ever joke about the other side? Why is it always the same goals, the same narratives, the same agenda? Jimmy could hear his producer screaming in his ear, telling him to fade to commercial. But something inside him snapped. Years of criticism, years of being called soft, years of balancing entertainment and politics suddenly came to a head.
Hi, I'm Sarah with Gadsden and Culpepper, here to show you today our tactical build-a-cap option. In this genre, we pretty much have everything under the sun in our website, whether it's a car...
Entertainment and politics suddenly came to a head. Want to know why? Because some things aren't funny, Donald. Some things are too serious, too important, too dangerous to make fun of. When lives are at stake, when democracy itself is threatened, then comedy may not be the right response. The audience gasped. Jimmy Fallon, the man who had built his career on avoiding controversy, had just taken a clear political stance. On live television, Trump smiled, but it wasn't a pleasant smile. It was the smile of someone who had gotten exactly what he wanted. There it is. Finally, some honesty. You just admitted what everyone already knew. You're not a comedian, Jimmy. You're an activist. You're part of the resistance, part of the machine that's trying to destroy anyone who doesn't fit your narrative. I'm not trying to destroy anyone. I'm trying to protect. Period. 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 Protect what? Your version of the truth. Your vision of how the world should be. Who made you the judge of what's dangerous and what's funny? Jimmy stood up from his desk, something he'd never done during a controversial interview. The audience murmured, sensing they were witnessing something unprecedented. Nobody did anything to me, but I have a platform and a responsibility. When I see lies being spread, when I see people getting hurt, when I see our country being torn apart, I can't just sit here and pretend it's all a joke. Lies? What lies, Jimmy? Be specific. Tell me exactly what lies you think I told. On TV, exactly. Now, I want you to back up your allegations with facts. You're calling me a liar. Prove it. Show your audience the evidence. Don't hide behind charlatan accusations and insinuations. The control room was in chaos. The show had gone completely off script. The ratings were through the roof. but the network executives were having panic attacks over the legal and PR nightmare this was becoming. Jimmy looked out into the audience, then back at Trump, then at the cameras broadcasting this conversation to millions of viewers. He was at a crossroads that would define not only this interview, but potentially his entire career. You know what, Donald? You're right about one thing. I was too nice. I was too accommodating. I let people come on this show and say things I knew weren't true because I was afraid of making waves, because I wanted to be liked, because I thought that was my job. And now I think maybe my job is more important than I thought. Maybe entertaining people isn't enough when the world is burning around us. Trump's expression went cold. The playful antagonism was gone, replaced by something much tougher. Are you also admitting that you lied to your audience, that the whole nice guy act was fake, that you used your show to advance a political agenda while pretending to be neutral? I admit that I was a coward. I was afraid to stand up for what I believed in because I was worried about ratings, about sponsors, about making everyone happy. Your credibility, your reputation, your career. You destroy everything you built in one night because you can't have a real conversation with someone who doesn't agree with you. The audience was now completely silent, watching two men representing different aspects of American media and culture engage in what felt like a battle for the very soul of entertainment. Maybe some things are worth destroying if it means telling the truth. The truth? Your truth. You mean the truth? According to Jimmy Fallon and his corporate masters, you think you're brave, but you're just a puppet. A very expensive, very well-trained puppet. Jimmy's hands were shaking now. Whether it was anger or adrenaline, no one could tell. The normally cheerful host looked like a man who had reached his breaking point. You're calling me a puppet? Okay, but at least I'm not a puppeteer manipulating millions of people with lies and division. At least I'm not destroying people's faith in the truth itself. Trump stood up now, matching Jimmy's energy. The two men faced each other across the desk, like gladiators in an arena, with a studio audience as unwilling witnesses to this unprecedented showdown. Believe in the truth. Jimmy, you wouldn't know the truth if it were right in front of you. You live in a bubble, surrounded by people who tell you exactly what you want to hear. When was the last time you spoke to a real person? Someone who isn't paid to agree with you? I talk to real people every day. My audience, my employees, my family, they're all real people with real concerns about what's happening in this country. Your audience laughs on command because there's a sign telling them to laugh. Your employees tell them they're wonderful because they sign their paychecks. Your family, well, I don't know your family, but I bet they're just as out of touch with reality as you are. Jimmy's face went red. Attacking his family was a line that seemed too personal even in this heated exchange. Don't you dare bring my family into this. Everything is connected to everything else, Jimmy. Your privilege, your wealth, your complete insularity from the consequences of the policies you promote. You sit here in your ivory tower and make jokes about people whose lives you'll never understand. Privilege? You're trying to preach to me about privilege? You were born with a silver spoon in your mouth. You never had a real job. You never had to worry about rent or food. But I've created jobs. I've built businesses. I actually accomplished something besides making people laugh at other people's expense. You bankrupted companies. You're doing it again, Jimmy, repeating unsubstantiated claims as if they were facts. That's exactly what I mean. The tension in the studio was suffocating. Camera operators continued to film, but several crew members had stopped working entirely, mesmerized by the verbal sparring that was unfolding before their eyes. His voice dropped to a barely audible whisper, but somehow more menacing than if he had been shouting. You want facts? Here's a fact.
What's up, guys? So, just wanted to give you a little background on where we started as a brand and how this all came about. This was what I was drawing on hats in 2015, 2016. I was living in San Francisco. I was at film school. This was my kind of funky cloud-looking version of Lake Tahoe. So I'm from Lake Tahoe, and I just wanted to, rock Lake Tahoe everywhere I was. So I got blank Yupong hats. I hand drew the outline of Tahoe on the front, and this is really where it all began. From there, I perfected the Tahoe design, came up with this design and was just clean. I was rocking this for a while. Then I came up with an EKG design for Tahoe and invented Tahoe Heartbeat. This is really what kicked this whole thing off. This is on Upalm, blank hats. I buy blank hats. I bought a stencil maker. I would hand draw the first 200 hats, had a huge response, and started selling hand-drawn Tahoe Heartbeat hats. And this is where it all began. Then hand drawing, I was getting carpal tunnel, hurt my hand, hurt my wrist, wasn't into drawing hats. I mean, our first year we sold like 20,000 hats. It's not an easy way to sell if you're hand drawing all of them. So I put patches on hats. I tried them in the center, tried different colorways, just trying to like figure out what I liked, what people liked, what the consumers wanted. Tried direct embroidery on some hats, tried putting lettering on the front of the hats. We're just like in test mode. We're just testing everything, seeing what people liked, what people wanted. Tried some leather patches, not my favorite. More centered patches, and then I came up with the patch on the left, which has become kind of our trade dress. This is where we love the patch. It's aesthetically pleasing. I really like it, and this is what we stuck with, and we continue to stick with. Notice this hat doesn't have a photo under bill. Just again, more blank hats. We ironed on the first like 30,000 hats. Spent all year ironing patches on. It was a big job. And then we got private label full manufacturing and started putting photos under the bill. This is of course Lake Tahoe. This is one of the very first private label manufactured hats we ever made. Cork front, these things are beautiful. I mean, check this hat out. They're nice. We do make some of the nicer hats in the world at an affordable price. So this is me. I'm the founder, I'm the owner, I'm the creator, I'm the designer. To me, my right-hand man, Adam Williams here. We're in the warehouse today working, organizing stuff, building out, stocking product, pulling product, shipping orders. This is what we do every day. We do it to bring you the highest quality hats we can possibly bring you and give you a logo that makes your heart beat. So just ask yourself, what makes your heart beat? This is the Heartbeat brand. Let's go!
Barely audible whisper, but somehow more menacing than if he had been shouting. You want facts? Here's a fact. You came on my show tonight expecting me to flatter you like always. You expected me to laugh at your jokes, promote your projects, and send you on your way with a boosted ego, but I'm done being your validation machine. Validation machine, Jimmy? I don't need validation from you or anyone else. A favor. You came here to use my platform to spread your message, just like you use every platform. You don't do favors, Donald. You make transactions. At least I'm honest about that. You pretend that this is all about entertainment and people's enjoyment, but really it's about power, or the power to shape opinions, to destroy reputations, to decide who succeeds and who falls. Maybe it's about power. I have influence and I started using it responsibly. Trump laughed, but it was a harsh, mocking laugh that cut through the studio like a knife. Responsibly, loudly, who, you, your network executives, your political allies, whoever decides what's responsible, Jimmy, anyone with a conscience. Anyone who cares more about the truth than ratings. Anyone who understands that words have consequences. Words have consequences. Then you better be very careful with the words you use right now, because this conversation is being broadcast to millions of people. Your words, your accusations, your complete breakdown. This is all being broadcast live. Jimmy seemed to suddenly remember where he was. The cameras, the audience, the millions of viewers watching this unprecedented breakdown of civility on late night television. But instead of flinching, something hardened in his expression. Okay, let them see it. Let them see what happens when someone finally stops playing games and tells the truth. This is a tantrum. This is what happens when someone who has been coddled their entire career finally meets someone who won't kiss their feet. Get out of here. The words hung in the air like a gunshot. The audience gasped collectively. Even Trump seemed momentarily taken aback by the quiet intensity of Jimmy's command. Excuse me, you heard me. Get out. Get off my stage. Get out of my studio. Get off my show. I'm done with this. I'm done with you. Trump's eyes narrowed dangerously. You can't throw me out. I'm their guest. We have an agreement. Our agreement was a respectful interview about your projects. You turned it into a personal attack on me, my team, my family, and everything I stand for. The agreement is null and void. This is a breach of contract. This is defamation. This will cost you everything, Jimmy. So be it. Security. 2 large security guards appeared at the edge of the stage, clearly summoned by the producers who had finally decided to end this disaster. Trump looked at them. Then he looked back at Jimmy, whose face was a mask of controlled rage. You're making the biggest mistake of your career. Maybe, but at least I'll be able to look in the mirror in the morning. Trump straightened his tie. His composure returned as he prepared to leave, but his parting words carried more the weight of a promise than a threat. This isn't over, Jimmy, not at all. As security escorted Trump off stage, Jimmy stood alone behind his desk, facing an audience that didn't know whether to applaud or flee. The silence stretched until Jimmy finally spoke into his microphone. We'll be right back after that commercial break. A moment in late-night television history when 2 of America's most recognizable personalities finally stopped pretending and showed the world what they really thought of each other. What do you think really caused Jimmy to finally snap? Was it justified or did he go too far? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more incredible stories like this.
Style and substance in the...
Good afternoon.
Alright fellas, I really appreciate your patronage. Okay, so we learned a lot today. Basically having this shit up so that people remember what the fuck 2025 was like. So anyways guys, I thank you for hanging out. There's gonna be more of this shit to come, and you guys have a really good night or good morning.